sexy intro, you guys. Oh.
Hello! Hi, everybody. I just saw that intro for the first time. I think it's great. Approved. Hello, my name is Nick. I will be the game master for this incredible adventure we are about to embark upon in the game called Die. Now, I know it sounds a little bit scary. Let me explain a little bit. Die as a system actually first existed as a comic book series, a really wonderful anthology that is a love letter to TTRPGs in all of their various forms. And so we're going to be playing through a sort of module or a version of this game called Reunited. So us as a group of people, myself included, we will be making what are called personas. So this is a little bit odd. We're doing character generation almost purely today. This is session 0. We are working on our characters and we want you guys to be a part of it. So we are making what our system calls personas, where we're making real people. These are people that exist in the real world, real jobs, real lives, real complexities and hurts and relationships and all that good stuff. And soon enough, they will be thrust into the world of Die. So without further ado, I'd love to actually introduce our table that we have for today. Let's start closest to me. Echo, would you like to say hi to the folks?
Hi to the folks. I'm Echo, your resident tavern goblin here. Yep.
Hello, friends. I'm Brooke, and I'm just, I'm here to play some games. It'll be cool.
Yay. I'm Danny. I live here.
I'm Mads. I was just a cowboy for 8 hours.
I was less than a cowboy for 8 hours.
You were cowboy adjacent.
I'm cowboy. Yeah.
You were next to several cowboys.
I like to think we're all somewhat cowboys.
Literally cowboy
I
adjacent.
was
was absolutely not a cowboy.
Not today? Okay.
Well,
Okay.
then now you're cowboy adjacent.
And now you are because you're adjacent to a cowboy.
Hello.
It all works
It all
out.
works out. Guys, it's going so well already. Before I forget,
Rachel
just because I have a note and I forgot to say it earlier because I'm nervous. So Die RPG is by Kieran Gillen and Stephanie Hans and was created in conjunction with Rowan, Rook, and Deckard Games, a really incredible dream team of people. So if you're interested in pursuing this system, if you really, really like it and want to play it at home, it's been fully kickstarted and all that stuff and may be available for pre-orders soon at some point. So would love to spread this to your own tables. Thank you. It is. So if you like it, go and put a die on it. Okay, let's keep moving. Okay, so again, the concept that we're going with is a concept called Reunited. So us as a group of personas, it does feel so good. We're creating a group of high school, college age, we'll figure that out, but we're creating a group of young people who all knew each other in that age range at school, and we all, for some various reasons, got put together in a group. Maybe we all had detention together, or we're on the same sports team, or we're all in Cowboy Club. Who knows? It's Cowboy Club. Maybe that's it. Maybe I just sealed the deal. But for whatever reason, we all spent time together as a group and decided that we wanted to roll some dice, play some TTRPGs together. And we did so as a group quite often. It was sort of the tie that bound us all together. After high school or college, time has passed. We then revisit all of these same personas as adults, how their lives have changed, how their relationships have changed, and how they all have decided at the GM's request to come back together, roll some dice just like old times, and it gets weird. But to start, we're gonna start making our personas. So everyone is going to answer all these questions. We'll start with one person, but as I'm working with one person, everyone else will be thinking of their own answers to these questions. I encourage you all to ask each other questions because we're all generating characters as a group. This is very collaborative. I'd love questions from you guys as well. If you want to throw some ideas out there. We've also got some donation goals where you can concretely add details and wonderful colors to this thing that we are creating. For $15, you guys can suggest a fantasy world detail. So one of the things that we're going to talk about is we as a group, again, all played like a D&D campaign together. We're going to give it a name, and then we want you guys to help fill in some of those other blanks. What was a god in that world? What was an event? What was a famous battle or a geographical location? It's all fair game, and we would love suggestions from you guys. For $25, you can assign a quirk to one of our characters. So something sort of some strange habit they have, a tomato allergy, something strange that just helps really color them and carve out more of those details. For $50, you can assign one of our characters a catchphrase, something that they, once in the world of Die, will exclaim valiantly as they slay many a foe, or maybe they just say it in their real lives because they're just like that. And at every $100 donated, we will we will add in a group trauma, something that the group endured in their time at school, or something that was either a binding element for this group or something that led to them separating. So all really interesting colors, things that are going to make these people really, really real. And again, I cannot stress enough, these are real people that we are making. We're building in a very grounded and realistic place. So we would love for you guys to really get on that train with us, make really strange, fucked up, interesting people that are going to go on a crazy journey together, and that will all be hopefully in thanks to you guys. So, all right, without further ado, these are some of the first few questions we're going to go through, and then if somebody feels compelled, we'll start with you. So we're going to talk about why the group got together, what our school was like. So we're going with we met in school. We'll decide if that's high school or college. We'll talk about the name of the fantasy world where our game was set. And then we'll also talk a little bit about each player. We'll have questions like, if we had to assign like an 80s high school movie archetype to you, what would that have been? Were you a bully? Were you a class clown? A student, whatever. We'll talk about the ways that you buck those stereotypes, the things that maybe people don't always know or see about you. What did you, when my character, the GM, invited you to the game, why did you decide to join? What was that decision like? What did you love and hate about playing this game with this group of people? And what were your interests, etc. And then we'll go into some bigger questions. So does anyone feel kind of compelled to start throwing some stuff in there?
We'll go one at a time.
I'm
Is
scared.
that okay?
Throw out a question,
That
we'll
helps us know where
answer
we're
it.
going. So that's super awesome.
All right, so then
Yeah.
we'll just start. Why did the group get together? So we have some suggestions here, things like we were the only kids in school who'd even dreamed to do something like this. The arty kids from the drama society, we were just sort of a group of like weirdos. We were detention kids, we were the bad kids, we're something else. So why did our group all out there? Why did we get together? What was the for reference? The last time I got to DM this, we all decided that we were in the same collegiate a cappella group.
They can't hear you.
Oh, my mic's right here. That's okay. I leave those questions to you.
Okay,
So I'm
so
silent.
let's start talking about this one while we're here.
Yes,
So
why did
what-
the group get together?
Oh, we're back. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Fixed. We can hear him.
Yeah, so the last time I got to play this, we were a group of college students that were all in the same a cappella group. And so we talked about like what was our audition song, and why did we gravitate towards this? So as a group of kids who decided at a younger age to like be those kids that played the weird board game, what was the tie that binds?
Could we be the comedy sports rejects?
Oh,
Oh,
my God.
improv kids,
Look,
incredible.
None of us got
Didn't
into
make it
improv.
to the
None of us got in.
team.
None of us got in.
Improv.
I fucking love
my
that.
So
God.
we're
Actually,
like our own
did not
improv
get
team.
into comedy
Amazing.
sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never tried. I was too chicken.
Great. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
Improv.
comedy sports rejects. And
Sports rejects.
in our commisseration, maybe after the list went up, we all checked the list, and
We
and
were
none
the
of us-
only ones like left standing.
Yeah, basically.
Because like only like
They turned the lights off when we were still standing there.
only like 15
So
people
white.
went out, and they said they were gonna take 12.
Nice.
Somehow there's 4 of us. So, like,
really, really bizarre how that all
Which
happened.
one was
We're
the
just that
worst?
unfunny.
yeah, somebody else. They were like,
Okay, nice. Oh, I need to pull up. Sorry. I love that. Did the improv team have a particular name?
Oh, sure.
The one that we didn't get into.
Oh yes, the team that we didn't get into.
Okay.
Did that team have a name?
they were.
They always have like super cheesy, friendly, unobtrusive names
Yeah.
in schools, right? So it'd be like
They were called Yes Yay because instead of Yes and
Oh,
they said
yes,
Yes Yay.
yay.
Yes, yay! Incredible.
Oh.
And we didn't make it into Yes Yay.
That's the reason I'm too negative. That's why I didn't
Yes.
make it in. I was like, this is not
Okay,
for me.
great. Love that. We're pulling that shit already.
I was
Okay,
like, no,
excellent.
but.
All right. So we by proxy, our party's name is No Boo. Okay, awesome. So yeah, we were all we didn't make the cut, and so in our commiseration, maybe that's how some of us met, and we could display our own improv chops and make our own stories by playing a TTRPG. And the thing that we made is clearly no contest better than Yes Yay.
Is
Amazing.
art imitating life right now?
I mean, I don't know.
A little bit.
Yeah, a lot of it.
Un poquito.
Yeah. Perfect. So what was our school like? This feels kind of like a high school sort of situation. So Wendy, what was our school like? Was it just sort of like an average comprehensive school? Was it a shithole? Was it like an expensive private school? Was it religious?
Was it a performing arts school?
Was it a
Yes.
performing arts school? That's a great one. Was it like
I want to be rejected from a school where it wasn't even hard to get in
You
on
think?
paper, like a normal, because getting rejected in a specific team for an
Yeah,
art
like
school isn't as much of an
It's like,
insult
oh,
as
okay,
like.
yeah, like
Sure.
there were a lot of really talented people going out, but this is just like some weird like after school shit that
Right.
somebody came up with, and we
Should
still
we be
didn't
from
make
a
it.
small town where there's literally like 30 people in our
Yeah.
class?
Absolutely.
Ohio.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, somewhere rural. I like the feel of that.
Yeah.
Okay, rural Ohio high school.
Sherwood, Ohio.
Awesome. So yeah, pretty general, like a public or maybe like someone just said charter school. And we did not make the cut. If we had if we want names suggestions for names of what this rural Ohio high school was called, would love to hear it. Okay. So my persona, the GM's persona, ran the game. What was the name of the fantasy world where our game was set? So I wrote down some little options here, and there's some other stuff already in the book. There's suggestions like the Shadowlands, the Fields of the Zephyr. I wrote down the Wandering Shores, Kinclash, the Realms of Iron. So it feels like us being particularly performative and outgoing. Perhaps our title would be something a gallivanting kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of world would we have played in, and what would it be called? And this is going to help you guys. Once we name this world and decide on a name, we're going to be leaning on you guys to do that $15 donation and throw in details about this world, really color it and fill it out. I can guarantee you that if you generate those things using that donation, they will appear in the world that we eventually play in. So this is a way to really help shape our world, and we would love to hear from you. But what was our world called?
I would like to go back one step.
Please.
Because Zombie Doobie just wrote, you can use my old hometown's weird name, Pflugerville High School, spelled with a P.
Oh, in
Yeah.
Texas. Yeah, it's outside of Austin.
Hell
Let's do
Maybe
it.
they're trying to
Yeah.
figure out how do you pronounce that.
Pflugerville.
You guys,
Yeah.
we're getting closer
All right.
to cowboy territory.
We might as well, yeah, it could be Cowboy Club.
Oh,
Yeah,
hell
Pflugerville.
yeah.
All right.
Ohio.
Not anymore.
All right, you got it.
it.
Pflugerville
All right. The name of the game. We get to
High School. I'll
the
take
world.
it. I like it. What was the Zombie Doobie? If you know this off the top of your head, or we can make one up. What was the Pflugerville High School mascot? I think that would be fun.
You're like a gopher or something.
So
I feel
what?
like it has to be like my brain says it has to be the Phoenixes, right? Because it's like it's also a P,
It's all
but
like-
it's a F sound.
Nice.
Zombie does
The
say
Phoenixes?
The Phoenixes.
That's
Zombie
great.
says it was
Pflugerville
Panthers.
That's really smart. I would never
Pflugerville
have thought of it.
Lanthers.
You want Planters?
But Flint.
Panthers.
Planters.
Pflugerville.
Do we all have a lisp?
Well, no, because
Yes.
it's spelled P-F-L-U-G-E-R.
It should be like or like the fairies, like PFAI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pflugerville fairies.
Got it.
The fairies. All right. Thank you,
I'm-
Zombie Doobie, for the real world details. We're gonna take it and run.
Yeah. Oh, Fantasy World details. Comedy can be punishable by death.
Whoa!
Tough crowds.
Okay.
Thank you, Arsenal. Wow, comedy
That
was.
is-
We were very bitter when we played this
We
game.
really did. Yeah. We went really.
Nobody
See,
better
that's
be
actually
funny.
also really interesting. Is that we were being the comedy rejects, that we cut hard in the other direction and went really, really like grim dark,
super dark.
like really grim dark. I think
Yes.
that's fun. That's a really
Yeah.
good idea. Okay. Okay. So maybe we can deal with something like the Shadowlands, or like something along that vein, something really angsty, and maybe a little grimdark would be awesome. And also, if you want to give us a name idea, you can use that same $15 donation and throw some names at us. That would be awesome.
Like Footloose, but for comedy, and there's way higher
Footloose.
stakes.
Yeah, see, this should also have a PM, but this is great.
great.
The Fallen Lands, but it's PFALLEN.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
that's
love that.
That's hot. I like
The
that.
Fallen Lands.
The Pafallen.
The Fallen Lands.
Vane Dead looks like came in a little late and wants to know how it can mess with people.
Yeah. So
What
Vane,
game is it?
So Vane Dead. This game is called Die. It is. Nick described it to me as Goth Jumanji.
Goth Jumanji is the elevator pitch, so take that as you will. But it's if you're familiar with like the isekai tropes in anime, the transportation to another world, powers beyond our ken, with some literally dark fantasy elements, and then the repercussions of putting real people in very dangerous fantasy situations.
Yeah.
So
and how you can fuck.
And how you can fuck with us. Check those donation details.
So the $15 is more like these are rewards that you can see in the next 2 weeks, because today is mostly character creation. So you're going to detail out the fantasy world, and all those things will come to fruition later. For $25, you can give our individual characters a quirk. So something that makes us, like a little thing, like maybe we've got little isms or allergies or things that can impact us out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be grounded. That's the difference with this game from a lot of other stuff we play. Real world setting. We got to be normal folks. For $50, we can be damaged folks, but we have to be normal folks.
Yeah.
And for $50, you can give us a catchphrase that we will say often, a lot, when we do our things.
So much.
So much. And for and every time we unlock the $100, we will do a group trauma, which will help us do things. Nick,
We got one built in. We
started from a place of trauma, so
We better stop being so good at this.
That one was a freebie.
It was a freebie, but
Freebie.
those are the kind of things that you can expect every $100 we get. We're gonna really kind of dig deep into these folks. Great. I love that. That's an awesome place to start. And again, with those $15, we can keep rolling in. That was an incredible start. Comedy is punishable by death, tough crowds. Amazing. That is exactly what we're going for. We can keep those rolling. How many years has it been since you left school? I'm thinking like 10 to 15. If we all met in high school, we'll join our people late 20s, early into their 30s. They've had time to really fuck up and make mistakes or get better. Maybe they had a glow up and then a glow down. Who knows? We'll talk more about that
I want it to be
later.
16 and a quarter years.
Okay. Write that down. That's for you.
It's going down.
You write that down right now. Yes, some people in the chat, Real Rye. Yes, this is based off of the comic book series by the same author, Kieran Gillen, also author of The Wicked and the Divine, if you're familiar with that.
Not to be confused with Karen
With
Gillan.
Karen Gillen. It's a very different person, Kieran, Kieron, who saw my post in the Die Discord today and gave us a little emoji when I said that I was running this. So if you're here, Kieran, hi, you do great work. If you're not, I still mean that. Great. So we're gonna have a time skip of 15 years. That will make more sense later. Now we get into the individual stuff. What were our characters like in high school? What was sort of their trope? In what ways did they work against that trope? Why did they join the game? What did they like about it? What were other details about them? Would anyone, now that we have some foundation stuff, who would like to sort of jump in and start building somebody?
I'll go.
All right.
I like to do things.
Dooney, what you got?
I don't know.
So at the most basic level, how would people think of you at school? You've got things like academic A student, class joker, bully, jock, wallflower, tech nerd, elitist snob, etc.
Wallflower for sure.
Wallflower, nice.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. We'll go.
Wanted to be all of those other things. Was
Sure.
none of those things.
Pined in silence. Okay, perfect.
Pined in silence.
I'm gonna be throwing shit like that out there. Okay, that's awesome. That's the stereotype of
I'm gonna
you.
get that.
And again, as we're going through these, everyone else can be thinking of this and can be throwing out questions as well. That's the stereotype of you. In what way are you different from the stereotype? How do you break that traditional wallflower visual that people would, if people talked about or described you, how would you be different than what they imagined?
I would say my character would probably be very receptive. I feel like wallflowers are more known to back further against the wall when approached, whereas he's waiting as opposed to avoiding.
Sure, like he can be approached,
Yeah.
and it will gladly have conversation, but is unlikely to initiate. But okay, gotcha. That's great. I love that. Okay, unlikely. Perfect. Okay, so when my persona invited you to the game, why did you decide to join? What was the
It was the first social thing he had ever been invited to.
Okay. Perfect. And then what did you love and hate about playing the game with the rest of the group?
I would say he never felt like he could keep up. There was an effort to either try to be funny or try to be oh, well, they did that cool thing, so let me try to do the same thing. And then of course it wasn't cool anymore. So that struggle of instead of making his own choices. He was trying to like emulate the players around him because he didn't want to make waves, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could never really keep up energetically, socially. Never really found his voice.
Yeah.
Okay, find his voice in the group. I like it. What did you like about it? So that was a struggle, but then what did you like about the game in opposition to that?
The ability to how to phrase it, I guess. Emulate himself in a safe place. So you trip and fall in a game like that, you don't skin your knees in real life, that kind of thing. The freedom that comes with something like that, the ability to peel off the wall.
Absolutely.
And get into the
Love that. What a great. Also, as we're making these people, be thinking of names, because we're going to be using those persona names in game and on your eventual character sheets. You can workshop some stuff, and we can decide on them by the end. For those asking more details, yes. Hello, my name is Nick. I'll be the GM for this. Thank you for the kind words. I love you guys very much.
You.
Okay. Awesome. Then what were your interests outside of this group? Sports, TV shows, books, etc. Name your faves. Why did you like them?
These are real world books? Fake books?
Yeah, we're in the present day.
Okay,
so
great.
we were in high school in the mid-aughts.
I'm gonna source myself then, and
Okay,
I'm gonna
great.
say this is something that I think my character and I would have in common. The Dragons series, from Dragonlance. That was my own sort of first like lighter foray that wasn't Tolkien into fun high fantasy. It was like Dragons of Autumn, Twilight, and all those books. And I feel like you would have locked onto that shit.
Yeah.
Lord.
Grand adventures sort of swept away by narratives.
Yeah.
The escapism of it.
Escapism for sure. But yeah, books, games.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. Okay. And then we'll do this is a really interesting thing that we're gonna do. Everybody is gonna get what we're just sort of calling a quote unquote big question. It will be answered in two parts. The first part that we'll answer is as this young, sort of wide-eyed version of their persona. The second answer will be after we put them through a time skip. So we'll see how this question that we asked them, how the life that they have lived has affected the results of this question and how they have changed. The big question that I would love to launch at Danny, soon to be named persona. Let's see. I'm gonna give you. Let's see. Feels a little on the nose, but I think this could be interesting. You had an all-consuming interest, your absolute obsession. What was it?
Oh boy. Writing.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Generating his own sort of fantasies.
I think not just his own, but generating those same worlds for the next him.
Oh, okay.
So like for someone else who needed a book like the books that got him out of his hole. So like like it serves the same purpose while he's writing it. But
Great.
why he's doing it is to get
Because he
somebody
knows
else
that there
out.
will be other kids and generations coming that will be like him, and the things that you didn't have, you can create for others. That's beautiful. I love that. Okay, we'll get back to the second half of that later. In the meantime, I'd love to switch over to somebody else, and we'll go back to at the most basic level. How would people think of your character at school? Anybody can jump in here.
Calling somebody.
Echo. I'll have you go next. Why not?
All right. So, how would people think of me at school?
Yeah, you've got the academic A student, class joker, tech nerd, bully, jock, something else, something that you can pull from your own experience, or we can make something up, whatever you think.
How would people think of me at school? I feel that I would be the person who tries too hard to fit in.
Overachiever. Excellent. Okay. Wants to fit in. That's the stereotype of you. In what way are you different from the stereotype? What would people not really guess about you, or not think of you? If someone were to describe you, what would they get wrong? Like what do they not know about you in that stereotype?
If you're branding me as an overachiever,
Does that feel like it fits, or would another turn be better?
I don't like overachievers.
Okay.
It's not fitting in my
Great.
tries too hard
We'll make it something
to fit in.
More like a pick me kind of
Ooh.
energy, or
Not really a pick
It's
me,
more- is
more
it-
like a chameleon energy.
like a floater, like kind of goes a lot between a lot of different groups of people.
Yeah,
Okay.
just trying to find my place. Just kind of like a chameleon. Just
A
like
wanderer. Yeah.
Wanderer.
Social wanderer.
I feel like that fits a little
I love
better.
that. It's more of a social pine than like an achievement sort of pine. So I see exactly what you're saying. Okay.
There we go.
Excellent. Social wanderer. So that's how people see you. They see you in fleeting moments. You're sort of ducking and dipping and dodging between groups of people. But how do because if you can dodge a social group, you can dodge a ball.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. So what's in what ways are you different from that stereotype? Like what would people get wrong about you?
People would assume
Mhm.
that I am more social,
Mm.
but I'm incredibly introverted to the point that it is painful to talk.
Then most would think. What is happening? There's so much going on in this chat that I am not
We're
privy
busying
to.
ourselves quietly while you all.
Okay. Good.
I'm listening.
I'm not.
That's okay. Danny's kind of done with his homework already. Danny turned in his test, so Danny can fuck around. Awesome. Okay. When my persona invited you to the game, why did you decide to join? What was that choice like for you?
Initially, I imagine it as this was another group. I would say that I was the last to the group.
Hmm.
And
Posture check from the chat. It's a typical thing that I forgot about. Posture
Ooh.
check.
Yeah.
It's like,
Bad.
Yeah.
Mine's bad.
oh,
Mine is also bad, but I'm also hunching over a computer and stress panicking. But don't worry about it. Yes.
okay.
My face is so hot. Okay. So you were.
Pragma
Yeah,
check.
yeah.
Well.
Gee willikers.
They have eyes. No. So you were the last to join the group.
I was the last to join the group.
Okay.
And I want to say that I was brought in by this plate of cookies that this
Oh.
group had.
Ah.
I just saw a group of people. I had not been around them before, and there were cookies. And I have a thing for cookies.
Okay,
Who
I like
brought
that.
this down?
We'll find out who made those cookies very soon.
Tune in next week.
Tune in. No, stay here. Please stay here. Oh, damn. I should ask you. No.
Did it wrong.
Yes. We
It is all it takes.
Join the
If
dark side
you
real
have
cookies.
a good chocolate chip cookie or oatmeal raisin because I'm ancient.
Ooh,
I
shit.
do
Yes.
like
Right
those,
there.
though.
Vein
They're
Dead,
good.
a wonderful a quirk. Danny's character has heterochromia.
Green and purple. Green and purple.
That's
Green and purple.
sexy.
Okay.
Green and purple. Write that
Green
down.
and purple.
Green and purple. Vein Dead. Thank you. That's
Thank
so
you.
cool. I love that. Great. So you were last to join the group, but you were really like a cartoon wolf, kind of floated in on the scent of these beautiful homemade cookies.
Yes.
And then so once the cookies drew you in, and we patted the floor next to us and said, "Hey, please join us." Why did you stay? That's how you found us. Why did you stay? Once we invited you to play the game.
I stayed for the sense of community in creating a world that I actually felt comfortable and belonged in.
That's perfect. And the prospect of creating... Okay, perfect. So what did you love and hate about playing the game? Like what did you like, what did you not like? Obviously you like the cookies, but when it came to actually playing the game, what about that, like that living in a more comfortable world and feeling like you don't have to, that your introversion or your that social focus benefited you? Why was that a boon for you in this game?
What I loved about this game was it gave me an opportunity to express who I was when I really couldn't do that in the outside world because the outside world is cruel as fuck.
Hmm.
And this was sort of a You just this is a safe place where you can just brush it off. If it's too real, you can just be like, it was just pretend.
Yeah. We
Pretend.
don't have to dig too deep into that.
Yeah.
Genuine self and rely on just playing pretend. Why did you dislike it? Why did you not enjoy this activity with this group?
I did not enjoy the activity because I can't sit for too long. I have to get up. I have to move. I have to run away in a sense. If I get too comfortable, I feel like I need to leave. Like somehow they'll see me. We can't have that.
Or they might be seen too intensely. Cool. Awesome. That all is great. And then what were some of your interests outside the table? Sports, TV, what were other passions and hobbies and things that you partook in?
I was a band geek.
Band geek. Nice. Okay.
Toot, toot.
I was the last chair sousaphone player.
That seems like a fact the way you said that.
Same section, wrong instrument.
That was too real.
There it is. Oh, well, this is interesting. This is interesting too. With this sort of social, sort of wandering butterfly kind of vibe, why did you try out for Yes Yay? What led you to that's the best name. It's so good.
It's so
Yes,
good.
Yes Yay. What led you to wanting to try out for it? Like, did someone push you to do it, or did you have a friend amongst this group that brought you with them? What do you think?
It was my parents telling me that I was absolutely terrible at the sousaphone and that I needed to try something new.
Okay, auditioned for.
Disapproving parents.
Okay. Perfect. Great. All right, and then we'll give you a big question, and then we'll move on. All right. Let's see here. You had a goal in life. What was it?
I do not still have my trombone, rickety cat, but yes, that is what I played.
Somehow you can always tell. You have options like somehow you can always tell.
You can spot a trombone.
You can
in the
spot that
crowd.
spit valve from a mile away. So you've got options like, I always just wanted kids and a family. I wanted to be a successful, rich entrepreneur. I wanted to turn my passion into a life. I wanted to get the hell out of this damn town and never come back.
What was the question again?
You had a goal in life.
I had
What
a
was
goal
it?
in life.
You had a goal.
My goal in life was to prove my parents wrong when they said that I was a loser who would get nowhere in life.
Did you strive for anything? Did you strive to like further your education in music? Did you strive? Was there another passion that you hid from everybody that you were really interested in that you wanted to pursue?
Oh,
do you think?
absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for the raid, Connie.
Connie! Thank you, Connie.
I wrote comic books secretly all
Ah.
throughout high school.
Oh, you guys could have linked up.
Could have.
Yeah.
The writer. And
Yeah,
you
Danny's persona as a
Right.
writer, and maybe you had a knack for writing or like illustrating, kind
I'm
of
just
graphic
saying,
stuff.
I'm floating around in all of these groups getting materials.
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
could have crushed that.
Wanted to
If only you hadn't kept it a secret.
Oh my.
couldn't be
I
a.
was
You couldn't,
told I was a loser.
you couldn't make it as an improv comic, so you had to be a different kind of comic and go and do into something else comic related. And comic books / graphic novels. Awesome. All right, Mads, let's move on to you.
All right.
At the most basic level, how would people think of you at school?
I think we're going like golden retriever boy.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Like maybe not the brightest, but like happy to be here.
Sure.
Probably asleep in class.
Okay.
Is
Class.
himbo a stereotype?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Class himbo. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, don't worry. Okay.
Yeah.
I hope that happened.
This
at
isn't
prom.
about me.
I hope that happened at prom. Prom king, prom queen, and class himbo.
Oh, it's a superlative
Sash.
at this school. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is now at Flugerville.
Everybody's really happy for me.
Yeah,
Everybody's like,
yes.
of course. Everybody's like, yeah, that makes
Like we gotta
sense.
give him something.
Of course.
We gotta
he
give him
deserves it.
something.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's the stereotype of you. But in what ways are you different from that stereotype? What do people not know about you?
Well, I guess that's tricky. I feel like people think I'm like high all the time, but I'm not. I'm just really tired.
Hmm. Why are you tired? What is there? What is making you tired that people don't know
I mean,
about?
like home life isn't great, but like
Gotcha.
nobody needs to know about that. Like I just need to be happy golden retriever boy at school, and then everything will be fine.
Fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Got it. Awesome.
That's homeboy.
Yeah. When my persona invited you to the game, why did you decide to join?
Well, because I didn't make the comedy sports team, and I was bummed about it.
Okay. Bummed about losing out on improv and wanted a group activity.
Yeah.
Somewhere to belong. Okay. What did you love and hate about playing the game with the rest of the group?
I think maybe I wasn't like as big as like a fantasy nerd as you guys.
Mm.
Like I was more at like I'm on like the baseball team and stuff. So like this is all new to me, which is like super exciting.
Just like love
Yeah.
trying something new, just
Yeah,
getting into something
exactly.
completely different.
Yeah.
What did you not like?
I feel like you guys like have a different kind of sense of humor than I do because I feel like I'm from like kind of like a different world than you guys, like socially. Not saying that you guys are losers. I would never say that about you
Haven't you ever
guys.
said I'm
To your
so
I would
loser?
never say that about you guys. I would only think that in my brain. But like I feel like when I joined this group, I was like, me, the cool guy, I will come and join your little nerd squad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, these guys are cool.
Yeah.
Am I a nerd?
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So then what were your other interests? You said you were on the baseball team,
Mhm.
but is there anything else
Yeah, I play a little
interest-wise?
baseball.
Yes. Oh, fuck.
How dare you?
Donate $50 and that will be reality. I'm telling you right now. I might do it myself. So someone get on there first. I have donated money on this show for my own benefit.
It's
before, so-
multiple times in the same
documented.
episode.
It is documented well on this channel. I'm not above it. I'm in fact below it.
have a name.
So, but yeah. So baseball team. What position were you on the team? Were you like a better batter? Were you a baseman? Like, what do you think?
I was pitcher.
Pitcher.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go pro.
Gotcha. And
Yeah.
you had dreams of going pro?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Dreams of going pro. Then I'm gonna say, let's see. Moving on to our big question. Actually, I want to play into this like home life isn't the best and that like some of that energy. So I think we're gonna go with your teenage years had something specifically shitty to deal with. What was it? And so you've got suggestions like one or both of your parents passed away, you fell into the wrong crowd, maybe have a bit of a record now. You got sick, so, were injured or something like that. Something along those lines, some secret you had to keep or something that happens to you specifically during your teenage years.
Ooh,
Yeah.
real quick. Madman with a spoon. Thank you for that. In high school, always had a quirk for that's up for grabs.
Mm.
In high
Oh,
school,
yeah.
always had a jar of peanut butter and a spoon. Claimed hypoglycemia, but didn't have it. Choice of whether they still do this. I do this now.
Please, can I have it?
Yeah.
You can have it. You can have it.
Well, literally like a golden retriever with a mouthful of peanut butter. It's got to go
Yeah.
to. That sounds great.
Enjoy that.
I
It's
love
yours.
that.
Sorry,
That
I
is
stole
yours.
your
No.
peanut butter jar.
I
wanted it.
That's a me
so,
thing, not a
I
character
wanted it so bad.
Honestly,
Like,
saying the
flames on
words-
the side of my face.
Saying the flames, saying the word peanut butter, I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
Great. Your teenage years, had something specifically shitty to deal with. What was it? What do you think that was?
Yeah. So, like my parents were like super strict on us.
Oh.
And my I had an older sister, and she just dipped. Like she just like left, went out on her own. Like before she was even finished high school, she just like left. She didn't take me.
And you were particularly close with her?
Yeah. But
So kind of-
because it was like us against like our parents, and it was like us against the world, and then she just like dipped.
Okay. I had an
She
older
was like, I
sister.
can't take it anymore. I'm out.
She was like kind of your only lifeline, and
Yeah.
then when she got her opportunity to leave, she took it and
Yeah.
was out of there. Got it. What sister that you love dearly? His only lifeline. And do you think she said goodbye to you before she left?
No, she dipped.
Got it.
Ooh.
And she left suddenly. No goodbye. Okay, we'll get back to that later. Brooke, you are our last one.
Hello.
So at the most basic level, how would people think of you in school?
Okay. Here's what I think. I think she was known as like part of the Mean Girl squad, but her secret thing that like sets her apart from her stereotype is that actually she didn't like the crowd that she was with. Like she was actually a pretty nice person and tried to be inclusive, but just couldn't make a difference from like where she was.
Okay, cool. So we'll go kind of with like mean girl, popular girl, kind of
Yeah.
like snobby. Okay, perfect. You said, but what was the thing that people didn't really know about her?
So secretly, she like would not have chosen to have been part of the Mean Girl squad, but she was just kind of too afraid to step away from it, and so yeah, she ended up there. But it's not her preference to be mean to people. It's just
Maybe
where
because
she
like
is.
because maybe she had a bit of a reputation for herself that if she like
Yeah.
left that group, that it was like, okay, well now you're just fully ostracized.
Yeah.
It's like at least you have the safety net of the other mean girls, because the
Yeah.
rest of the school is like, I don't know about her.
For
But
sure.
so if you leave them, it's like, well, now you're on your own.
Yeah.
Okay. For fear of full.
I already love this game.
Yeah, it's so
This is a
good.
good group.
Oh man, just wait till we're rolling
This
dice.
is
It's gonna
such
be
like
awesome.
a real ass group of people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what I mean.
I'm a real ass.
I'm a real ass.
Thank
Damn.
I don't know if that's a word. Okay. Perfect. So when you were invited to play this game, well, actually, I also want to ask first in this sort of social grouping for you, what led you to wanting to be an improver? Why did you?
I think I didn't. And my mom was like, your group of friends sucks. You have to expand. Like,
Yeah.
Go try something else. And I was like, okay. And then I like pretended to actually try to get in, but I didn't want to because I was like, these are the weird theater kids. I don't
Yeah.
want to be in this group.
Okay.
Are you ready for
You
a
just got
quirk?
You got a
Am
quirk.
I? What's it say?
Brooke is ambidextrous. For those that don't know, that's someone
Oh.
that can use each of their hands with ease.
Wow.
That's fun.
for many
Amazing.
things.
So you can be
Fun
underhanded on
fact,
either
she's
side.
actually
Yeah.
Disapproved of her mean.
Thank you, Hardliner.
friends.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
This is amazing. We're so close to trauma. Yay!
Group trauma.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
This is why I love this game.
Fuck.
Oh, terrible. So good.
Great. So then so you auditioned for yes, yay. On suggested. It's never gonna get old, Danny. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'll explain why later.
It's good. It's really good. You auditioned for the group just kind of haphazardly, like,
Yeah.
I just got to do this thing and get it over with.
Yeah, especially because like all my mean girlfriends were like, "You're auditioning for the group? Are you
That's
kidding me? That's so
weird.
fucking stupid." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, it's so stupid, right? I hate
Yeah,
it."
I would never do that.
That's only my one dream.
Yeah.
Please.
It's just for fun. I'm making fun of them.
Yeah, obviously.
It's like an opportunity. I can like make fun of them openly. They'll think that I'm joking, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. And so that goes for a bust, and then eventually you get roped in with the rest of this group. So when we were getting a group together, and my persona, I don't know what's happening over there.
What if the, we'll get to it. I
Okay.
think we're
We're
good.
just
gonna get
living
there.
in chat. We're having
Okay,
a
great. No, that's fine. That's fine. You're doing great. When I invited you to join our group in this game that we were playing, why did you say yes?
I think because I hadn't made the team, my mom was like, "Well, you still have to do something else." And so I was like, "Okay, well, this is the most like easy option in front of me. I've been invited." And
Mhm.
maybe also there was this part in the back of my brain where as much as I see it.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yes, what?
So fantasy world detail, there are lakes that flow with peanut butter.
You got it.
Of course.
Can
there
do.
are.
Why do I feel like that's like you guys clowning on me? Because one time I like dropped the spoon in the middle of the map, and you guys were like,
It was.
Yeah,
"Damn
oh,
it,
full on.
Okay,
Yeah.
now it's a
Oh
peanut
no,
butter
the peanut
lake.
butter
Yeah.
lake.
Good
Yeah,
job,
yeah.
idiot.
Now we live in Candyland.
This is great. Peanut butter lakes. Wow, I'm hungry. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there was a part of my brain though where I was almost on the same wavelength as you. It was like, oh, these two losers are gonna think I'm so nice for joining the group.
Yeah.
Even though maybe I didn't think that in the like, you know what I mean, openly, like consciously. Maybe there was a part in the back of my brain that was like, yeah.
Well, I feel like
This is
especially
me
if
doing a
your character
service.
like had approached me or maybe her, like
mhm.
depending on the order, like I feel like I'd be like, oh, Brooke's doing it.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, there's cool people.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
Yeah, I'll come.
That's great.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, we can. Yeah, that can happen. However, but with that $15, we've got a group trauma now that we can
Right.
we can determine something that happens
Spooky.
to all of us. If you have suggestions, I'll open this up to. I know I saw someone's maybe earlier, but knowing what we know now about this group of people, I'll kind of quickly answer these questions as well, since I'm also a person in this group and have a character sheet and all that stuff. That's the fun part about the system too. The GM gets to play.
Yay! I
'Cause I
love
wanna
it
play
even more
too.
now.
Yeah, it's great. Don't have to miss out. But if you have any suggestions based on what we know about these people now, I would love to hear them. In the meantime, you know, Kira, me too. I also want $100 every time a traumatic event happens to me.
I'd be
That would
so
be,
fucking rich.
I'd be, yeah, right? Oh my God. I wouldn't be living here anymore.
Fine, $100 every time.
Danny could finally move out of the studio. Well, I wonder if maybe there was like an event at the school, like something happened to the school, something like there was a tragedy with one of the students, or like a scandal with one of the faculty members or
I
something.
don't know.
Or
Chat really wants it to be about peanut butter.
Nar.
Nar.
The game is called Die.
We're all gonna.
Yeah, but like if somebody had a peanut butter allergy and like went into anaphylactic shock,
Fair.
like
That is scary.
Maybe there was another.
What
Maybe.
if it was like your first kiss?
oh my god,
And they were allergic, and they didn't know.
Well, how about this? Because we're gonna that all ties in as a group. Maybe there used to be another member of this group that maybe you were into, and that you triggered an allergic reaction, and they had to leave.
Oh yeah, that's
Fuck.
rough.
So we had to like all witness somebody going into anaphylactic shock. That's especially hard for you. And then we
Yeah.
lost a member of our group that we
Yeah.
don't have. That was like, no,
After-
you almost killed me,
Yeah,
you
after
fuckers.
that, my mom was like, "No, I'm not allowed to come back.
Yeah.
All right.
Unless you put down the peanut butter jar."
God.
Matt's
so
almost
hungry.
killed someone.
Yeah.
Almost.
This close.
Oof.
You
Could
killed a
have been
man.
homicide.
I was leaning toward death. I think
I
that
was
would be
leaning
so
there. It's-
fucking
I don't
traumatic.
know.
Like
That
what
would
if it
be
happened
traumatic.
during game night, and
We're
like
just
the
there.
parents are out of town, which is why we're able to hold
So
the
I'm
we
down
couldn't
for
find their
it.
EpiPen or something.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And they died.
I
Yeah.
prefer Mads
All right.
killing someone via kiss.
Yeah, like
the
that's
guy-
Oh,
like
no.
we're going for trauma,
You
not
asked
a
for
bad
kisses.
night. We're going for
Yeah,
trauma.
no, I
Yeah.
killed a guy with a peanut butter kiss. Okay.
I killed a man with this thumb.
Okay.
Crunchy or
But after
smooth?
that, I feel like I had to stop. Like after that, I definitely didn't carry the peanut butter around anymore, right? Like
It was too traumatizing. You don't
Yeah.
know.
they did say like in high school I carried around the jar, and it's up to me if I still do it now.
Well, what if they're
True.
just like, well, I can't have a person anymore. All I have left is
Is my
peanut
peanut
butter.
butter.
Yeah, this is the
I
only.
switched to almond butter.
Yeah, you switched to
Oh,
nut butter.
alternative
Different
nut
seed
butters,
butter.
baby. Yeah.
Alternative nut butters was our improv.
Our
group.
yes,
That's
yes,
fantastic.
the alternative nut butters.
So good.
It's also a great like ska band name.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect.
Thank you, Zero.
What was
for
the
that. That was-
person's name? Who died?
That's yeah. I was gonna. You you alluded to them
Me?
being male, so maybe there's another dude in the.
His name was. Well,
Cody.
Lawrence?
Cody.
Cody.
Cody's. That's a good.
Cody.
Cody.
Cody's
Yeah,
dead.
his name.
Cody.
Gotcha. Okay. Excellent. This is all so great.
Bye.
Want to-
Cody's a good guy.
This is all. I love that people are dead and dying. Okay,
Great.
so let's go back to. We're going to go back to Brooke.
All right.
Decide to join the up the cool factor. What did you love and hate about playing the game? So what did you discover that you actually liked about being in this group and doing this thing, and then what did you not like?
I think I hated that I loved it, honestly. Like, I don't know. I think I enjoyed... There's this thing about being in the in crowd where you're constantly having to like put up a face and pretend to be a person. And in this, it was like that, but fun, because I got to create that person and take full ownership of her and like be proud of who she was. And so I think I enjoyed that. And I think, the thing that I didn't like was that if the Mean Girls had heard about it, they definitely gave me a lot of flack for it.
Yeah.
Like, why are you hanging out with this group? Like, that was mainly the social consequences.
Nice. Okay, great. Perfect. And then what were some of your other interests? What were things that outside of the game and outside of were you a cheerleader? Was there another like popular thing that you did?
Yeah. I feel like she was definitely like a dance team or a cheerleader, some kind of like an athlete that would have made her like more popular, like that she knew would have done that. But also, I think being ambidextrous, like, let's throw in, like, she's a really good, like, sketcher or something. Like, she's good with her hands. Like, maybe there's something like...
Maybe there was, like, a calligraphy elective and you were, like, amazing at it.
Yeah,
like, some kind of
great.
weird, like, art elective that you were just naturally good at.
Yeah.
Dancer, cheerleader, and... Cool. Okay, great. And then for you...
So you know that I did an entire comic about this kiss, right?
Oh,
it was a
yes.
series.
Yes.
It was Xeroxed and you like stapled them together, all the pages, and like you would
It was
hand
like
them
my
out.
first zine that I put
Yes!
out. There you go.
Fuck
Yes. Okay.
I
So-
had a long Zanga post about it once you released it. I did not approve. I was very
God.
sensitive.
Incredible. I had a live journal talking about it the whole time, but I never shared it. So Brooke, you had something which was especially important to you. What was it? It can be something like just like your beauty, your good looks. Maybe you had a teenage lover, like a sweetheart that you were really fond of. You were really popular. It can be anything like that. It can be
Childhood blanket.
emotional. It can be physical. I gave this to someone the last time I ran this, and for them, they like had a car that they loved. They like were one of the only students that drove and had like this cool old car that they maintained. So it can be anything, but it was really, really important to you. And maybe it was a secret. Maybe you didn't tell a lot of people about it. But what do you think that thing would be for her?
I think she comes from, despite the appearance that she puts up, like lower middle class family. So she's not horribly off, but like she's not great.
Okay.
And so there is one thing where she had dated a boy who was like very rich, and he bought her a nice pair of shoes, and she wore them like to prom, and that's it. So like she kept them in the box. They're her nicest thing that she owns. And it's like, yeah, it's that nice treat, you know, that she keeps for herself.
What's the dollar value of these shoes?
I don't know. They were probably like super up. They're like Louboutins or something. They were up there.
These shoes were $300 fucking.
Yeah.
Let's get them.
Exactly.
I love you.
We
Lisa.
all obsessed over that.
We
No.
Yeah. We really had never access to. Perfect. That is great. Okay. All right. I'm trying to figure out where now let's talk about me. I just have been toying with names in my head for what my persona's name is, and for some reason I feel like his name is Bennett. I don't know why.
Oh,
It's just like
that's
that.
great.
Right? Bennett?
Bennett. B-E-N-T.
That's a nerd.
If we're at
name.
names, I've got my name.
I'm
Yeah, if you've got names, I'll take them. Names and pronouns.
I am so Gib Gray is my name, but I go by Gibbous because it's another word for asymmetrical because of my heterochromia. So I've adopted my name Gib into Gibbous, but my friends will also call me Gibbs. So Gibbs or Gibbous.
Gibbs is cute.
Gibbs is great.
Gibbs.
He, him.
He, him.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Any other character names you want to throw in here? If not, no worries. We can keep thinking about it.
Aurora.
Aurora,
that's cute.
gorgeous.
That's two celestial names.
I like it. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And I'll come up with a last name.
Almost.
Guys,
why
I
not?
need one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah. If you've got any other names, shout them out.
What's a golden retriever boy name?
Like
Chris.
Max.
Max, something like
Max
that.
and Chris are both
Chris.
nice.
Matt.
Matt is
All the
good.
Matts I know are cool dudes.
What about like Malcolm, but like Mal?
Oh,
Mal.
Mal. I like
Lovely.
that.
Mal's great.
Yeah.
Mal.
welcome.
And now we can never forget.
Perfect. Okay, great.
And I'm Ronnie.
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 Yes.
I like Ronnie. All right, good. We got a good little bunch.
RONI.
I-E.
RONNIE.
RONNIE.
NNIE. Nice. Bennett, Gibbous, Ronnie, Aurora, and Mal are
Nice.
our pals, our group of buddies. Okay, I was thinking, looking at these, I feel like I was gonna maybe go for like a little more the like elitist snob or like rich kid.
Mhm.
Maybe just some, I don't know, something along those lines is like stereotypically attractive, and like the baseline perception of him shows like an expensive and popular self-expression. So he and Aurora probably knew each other in certain circumstances. And there's like a general and seemingly a general lack of awareness outside of his immediate circles, the people that he chooses to converse with. But I think behind this, he's not super into just like, it all just feels fake. It just feels like he's not really into it. And always wanted to, like, there were so many things outside of his immediate realm that seemed like fun, kind of the opposite of some other parents that were like, go do something else. It was like, but this is so good for you. Like, we know the waspy parents that just were like, this is, we're just trying to do what's best for you, and we think this is going to be it. And it's like, but I want to do literally anything else.
I want to sing.
I want to be dumb and tell jokes. And so I think like going out for an improv team, and then maybe probably didn't get admitted because it's like, why is Bennett here? Like, he's obviously joking. He's just doing this for like a prank. Like, fuck that. And I think so kind of gets like overwritten a lot, kind of gets assumed he's not actually here for a good reason. He's just joking around. He would really rather be off with the other well-off kids.
A kid who has everything is obviously fucking.
Right, of course, because
Yeah.
why else would they be here?
Right.
They clearly don't want to be
That
here.
sucks.
Something like that. And then maybe as far as interests are concerned, I think maybe similar to Gibbous of like had those like the nerdier sort of interests, but could never talk about them with his other friends because they were all like sports and the most popular TV show and the cutting edge of music and all that stuff, and couldn't be like, well, but what about Monty Python? Or like, who's that? Like,
Mhm.
but I think maybe that was kind of a gateway into like comedy, like really was into like the Monty Python stuff, and like that sort of was a gateway into fantasy. And so wanted to make like a more lighthearted game, and then looked into it enough and was like, yeah, I can buy all those materials, sure, I'll get all the stuff I could ever need. So he like was super full out with it as well, like had the like the Gloomhaven maps that puzzle together, and like invested in miniatures, and like really went super physical because he was like, I mean, yeah, this is how you do it, right? Just get all of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so he had
I
all the
know
stuff.
this person. This is great. I literally know this person.
And just like had all this stuff. And so probably I'm wondering in terms of getting into it, I feel like Bennett would probably have known Aurora the best,
Mhm.
being in like the rich kid mean girl kind of dichotomy.
For sure.
So and maybe that was also an agreement of like, it wasn't like some rando who you didn't know invited you, like at least someone that you were familiar with invited you, and it's like, it's gonna be fun, I promise. Like, you can tell your mom you're doing something, but we'll make it interesting. Like,
Can I
Yeah.
posit to you that my
Please.
most prized possession is a very expensive pair of shoes that was given to me by an ex-boyfriend?
an X instead?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So potentially that's how we know each other. If that's okay with you.
That I'm your ex?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sure.
Oh, shit.
Only if it's cool with you.
I love that.
Drama.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great.
Rama.
But like still wants to like
What?
maintain like
Yeah. Amicable
It's like, oh, we
exes.
can still be friends.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Feel-
great. I love that. We can, and we have more questions like that a little bit later too.
Cool.
That's great. So yeah, we used to date, and then
Great.
but we can RP more about how
Yeah.
how that all happened.
Yeah, well, maybe my mom really liked you, so she was like, "Oh, sounds great. Go play this game with these people."
Yeah.
And I love that guy. He's so cool.
Right, and it gets you away from those friends that I don't like or
Yeah.
whatever. So starting that way, and then seeing you at yes, yay, and trying to kind of branch out, and then sort of pulled people in little by little, maybe starting with like Malcolm, and then the other two. I probably had met you in some way because you were so social. Of like you popped by every now and then. I was like, oh yeah, Ryan, that guy's cool.
Everybody knows my face.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I would recognize you for sure. And then would find like a strange not expecting a confidant in someone like Gibbous, but once the fantasy stuff comes up and I see how much he lights up, of like, okay, let me get you in here. This seems like this would be good. Great. So I think that's kind of what I'm feeling. Okay. And so, oh, great. And then we've got some more smaller stuff. All right, so I'm going to choose one person to answer these questions, but obviously people can chime in. I'm just going to start with Echo, and we're going to move down the line. Where did we all play this game together? Like, what was our location? Did we do it somewhere in the school? Did we do it at somebody's house? What do you think?
I'm going to say it started off at school
Mm-hmm.
in the grassy corner nobody ever goes to during lunch.
Mm. Yeah, so it started there, and then maybe we moved it elsewhere?
It started there. And then I'm going to say it moved to...
Cody's house?
I love it.
Trauma.
Whoa,
It moved to Cody's basement because we're in Ohio and I think they have basements.
Yeah, probably.
What's a basement?
Never
Game
heard
started
of
in
it.
Grassy Quad.
They're not real.
Yeah.
Moved eventually to Cody's house. Honestly, maybe that's why the game stopped.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's probably a good reason for the game to
Yeah.
stop. We
Murder's
were
a good
playing-
reason.
fair enough.
Yeah,
Not murder.
accidental death.
Manslaughter.
Our homeboy died.
Which is just
Like
another way to
kissing.
spell man's laughter. And I think we all can relate to that.
Damn.
We all are in the pursuit of man's laughter.
Probably just.
I guess. Which is how the game eventually. Interesting. Okay, cool. All right, Brooke, who was the smartest of us?
Oh man.
Of our group, who was the smartest?
Jeez. I don't think it was me.
Okay.
You would have had the most access because you have the most money. I don't know.
That
I
doesn't
almost-
mean they're the smartest.
Not necessarily, right?
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't
good
know.
point.
I almost want to volunteer Gibbs to be the smartest
I think that tracks.
because
Okay.
I know
I'm
that
definitely the
Mal has
dumbest.
said that he's a himbo, so maybe not.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
So yeah.
All right. No problem. That sounds good. And then Danny.
Yes.
Who was the best looking of all of us?
Aurora. I think.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, by law. That's
By law.
Yeah, Bennett and Aurora were a cute couple. Were.
So we're me and Cody.
Oops.
That's true. Well, Mads, who did people most pick on out of
In
our
the
group?
group?
Yeah, who was picked on the most
Aw.
by people outside of our group?
Oh, by people outside.
Yeah, like it's not
'Cause
like
I'm
well,
like-
we could have also been picked on by people in our group.
I mean,
but-
like within the group, me, because they're
Uh-huh.
like, oh,
Yeah,
himbo,
silly
like
guy.
class himbo. But
Yeah.
no, outside of the group, definitely Gibbs.
okay. Yeah.
Smartest, but also the most picked
Smartest
on.
and most picked on. But again, like wouldn't
Tracks.
initiate any sort of rebuttal in those
No,
situations, which is
like,
kind
it's
of
he
just
would
it's
just
like
take it.
me.
Yeah.
Kind.
Okay. Actually, I want everyone to answer this because this is kind of interesting. So we'll start with Echo. We'll go down the line, although we've kind of figured this out already. Did you ever have a crush on anyone in the group? And if so, did it ever go anywhere? And if not, why not?
Ooh.
I'm going to say that I had a crush on Cody, and therefore I
Oh.
secretly resented Mal.
We're gonna get there. Crush
Woof.
on Cody.
Did we decide what social group Cody was from?
No, we can build Cody out a little bit just so we all know. In terms of I was thinking maybe Cody was the one that got in, but
Oh,
but didn't
yeah.
stay for long because he wanted to do it with us, and so
Yeah.
maybe he left because one of us told him that we had sort of started doing this other thing, he was like, wait, I would rather do that, and like jumped out.
Yeah.
So maybe he was like a big like class clown, like big jokester,
Totally.
like
Yeah,
really
yeah.
affable.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say, jokester, kind of similar to Ronnie and like the social butterfly, and similar to Mal as well. Kind of that really relatable energy, somebody that could really easily go up and talk to anybody, initiate that conversation, really high charisma. Which makes his death really sad.
Yeah.
Great. We dated for how long do you think we were together before we split up?
Gee, I don't know.
Like maybe we dated more as like maybe as like underclassmen. Like we were like as in like freshman or sophomore, maybe we were my like juniors or seniors when we played this game.
Yeah, that's cute.
So we were like freshman sweethearts.
Yeah.
Let's say.
Aw, that's sweet.
I like freshman homecoming. I was like, oh, I got you.
And I was like, oh, I was so flattered.
Yeah.
And if they're still my favorite thing I own, like that says something.
Did you have any other potential interest in the group after we split? Like maybe as we played our game, was there anyone that maybe you were interested in besides me?
I think that there was something about how, like, Mal being a himbo, there was something about like, oh, he just seems safe and nice and cool. And that's what she liked about him.
Yeah.
Safe
Nice.
choice.
Yeah, right? Like she was very much just like coming to that time in her life where she was like, I'm really getting sick of the politics.
Yeah.
As a senior in high
Yeah,
school.
she's like, oh God, it's been 3.5 years. Get me out of here.
That was a Viking.
Danny, any
Yeah.
crushes?
I think Gibbous would suffer from putting people on pedestal, right? So I think that
Aw.
Gibbous would absolutely have had a strong crush on Aurora,
Yeah.
but not for actual real life. Like he doesn't know who she is in the way that he thinks he does, right? So he's built her to be this like, not your basic fantasy damsel, but that sort of thing where it's just
Yeah.
like he places her as an attainable versus like as a person because he is
500 days of
unhealthy.
Yeah.
500
She
days
looked
of
at me once in the
summer.
hallway, obviously.
Yeah. Right.
It's meant to be.
So like he quietly
hands to the
pines.
chip bowl. What does it
He's
mean?
never talked
Yeah.
about it. But like when he like writes his stories, it's like in the stories.
Oh, yeah.
It's very coded, yeah.
It's
It's
very
like
coded,
the character
yeah.
looks a lot like
Yeah.
Aurora.
And her name is
right.
Stella. Like it's like
Yeah.
it's still like cosmic, but it's a different cosmic name. It's like,
Yeah.
she'll never know.
Borealis.
Her name is Centauri. We'll never talk about it.
Poor Gib.
Oh man, that kid had hippie
Poor
parents.
baby.
Mal, Cody probably.
Cody, yeah.
All right, you got it.
Cody.
Oh,
This group is so
Cody.
fucked.
I know.
Yeah.
Wildly
Yeah,
unhealthy.
baby.
This is
Oh,
the
yeah.
most high school
Ooh,
thing
Celeste.
that's
That's a
ever
really good
happened.
one.
I like that, and I'm just gonna incorporate that
You-
into the fantasy world.
Yeah.
that-
Take
that
it.
he is. Yeah, Celeste.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Celeste
Thank you,
is
Rachel.
the
That was really
coded
good.
character. Thank you.
Yeah, really good one.
Oh,
Okay.
I found out you aren't supposed to call people their real names. In chat.
Whoopsie.
Well, it's too late now. The good thing is this isn't being recorded.
Really razzed me for the last time. Like, so bad. So,
Wow.
Red Rum Queen.
I have permission.
What about me?
What about me?
None for you.
I'll pretend I don't know
Okay.
it, even though I do. And then this can also be a group consensus. Who was the group scared of at school and why? So maybe like it could be like the teacher that like the drama teacher that ran the improv group like said some really
She was out to get us. And
Yeah, she
why?
was.
Yeah.
something like that. So what was her name?
Stacy.
Stacy.
Stace.
Miss Stacy.
Stacy Clearborn.
Ooh.
Miss Clearborn.
I am
Clearborn.
Called her
going
Stacy like straight up, and she
Yeah.
hated
Yeah.
it.
Oh, sure.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna say that she hates new people, and she didn't admit anybody new who auditioned. She only liked legacy students.
Gotcha.
That.
She is.
Someone in the chat said she was Cody's mom.
That's why she hates
No.
us.
I want to like
That's why
Cody's
she hates
family
us.
too. I want us
I
to
wanna
feel
like
like
Cody's
we
family
owe
too.
Cody's family.
I agree.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we could,
Okay,
yeah,
fair,
that's yeah.
Like,
But
wanna-
I see
yeah.
where I like this. These are the threads that I like. We're getting real.
But I love the small town feels though, because we are in rural.
Exactly.
Rural. I hate that fucking word. Rural Ohio. Yeah.
there were
I
people
we all-
that ran the improv team.
That's
Uh,
my
did
boy.
movies and had it out for us.
Roll.
Control freak. Okay, perfect. Awesome. Okay, and then each player answers this question. I'll start at the opposite end this time. I'll start with
Okay.
Matt's. Who was your favorite and least favorite person in the group, and why?
Roast
My favorite was,
Yes!
my favorite was Cody,
Of course.
Oh.
because that's my man's. And then my least favorite was Ronnie, because I think he's kind of a tryhard.
Oh.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sorry, man.
It's all good, dude.
Oh fuck, I'm next.
And there was always
Danny.
like tension between us because you were
Always
after you were
tension.
also
And
also
you and
after
Ronnie was
Cody.
also into Cody. Yeah.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Danny, who was your favorite and your least favorite, and why?
I think Gibbs's favorite would be Mal because Mal's got that. That was real punchy.
Like peanut butter.
Mal's got the energy that Gibbs wishes he had, but also it puts him at ease, right? So like the golden retriever energy is something that like he can't unlock himself from.
It's like a
to ever
vicarious sort of
experience.
thing,
Yeah,
like-
for sure. Least favorite. Ask himself. No, that's
Aw.
dark. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, Ronnie by default because he's weirdly unhealthily all about Aurora. So yeah, Ronnie.
There's
Sorry,
still
Ronnie.
Bennett.
I'm
Oh,
about
Bennett.
Aurora.
Bennett's my
I have
ex.
nothing going on with Aurora.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's see.
No,
Okay.
he meant he's obsessed.
Gibbs
with
is
Aurora.
obsessed with
Oh,
Aurora, so,
yeah.
so
Aurora is his
Aurora's not going to be her
least
least, and
favorite.
Mal is
Oh,
already
okay.
his fave.
But there's still
So
Bennett
I'm trying to
and
think.
Cody.
Like
There's
it
still
could be.
there's
It could be
still-
Bennett, but I don't know why he wouldn't like Bennett.
I mean, I was the one that was running the game, and so maybe there
Ooh,
were
maybe you don't like you don't run with my ideas when I have them.
Yeah,
Right? One
a
of
little
those.
more railroady when you're like really, because again, it's
Yeah.
like a writer
It's
and
like,
really
but, like,
building
what
it
I
a
really
fantasy.
wanted to feel is
Like, yeah,
this thing,
simplify
right?
it. I don't have time. Like,
Right,
would
yes,
like cut down on stuff like that. Okay,
you,
great.
you like you cut my escapism short. Like you keep grounding me back into reality that I don't want to live in.
Right. And perfect. Yeah, that tracks 1,000,000%. Brooke, who was Aurora's favorite and least favorite?
I think Bennett's her fave only because they know each other the best. I think because of her little baby crush on Mal, by default, Ronnie has to be her least favorite because
Okay.
of solidarity.
Okay.
I am quickly the most hated in this
I'm
group.
sorry, not at the table, but
yeah.
It's not that I don't
It's the
like you.
characters.
It's just that I don't like you that much.
I think it was the final tone that made that worse.
like that
I don't like it. I don't
much.
like it that. I don't like it that much. No, I don't like it that much.
All right. Who was Ronnie's favorite and least favorite?
Bring it on.
Bring it in.
Given these answers, my answers changed
Uh-huh.
so
Oh,
much.
Okay,
I don't know
this
who
is
was
interesting.
before.
Wow.
Before, my favorite was gonna be Aurora, and I had
Name all.
good reasoning for that.
Uh-huh.
Until now you've
You can change my mind.
gone and did solidarity over there. I was gonna say that you were my favorite because I could see that you were actually like a nice person, a genuinely
Aw.
like nice person.
Yeah.
Now you're tugging my
Well, the thing
heartstrings.
is that like Ronnie may not know that like this can be totally private.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
you may feel that way about. That's great. In fact, like if you have that kind of feeling about
Yeah, I'm
Ronnie,
not
but
gonna
don't.
be mean to Ronnie.
No.
For sure.
But like, I mean, it's like any group of friends. Like
Yeah.
it's like we all love each other. We're here for a comment. But I have friends where I'm like, they really drive me crazy sometimes,
Oh,
and
yeah.
are triggered by any number of things. So I think that's great reasoning. I think that's perfect.
But
If you
yeah,
want to keep with
so
that, but you can also change it.
I'll keep with it.
Okay.
Whatever.
So favors Aurora, saw her genuine personality and kindness. And then who was your least favorite?
My least favorite is going to be Bennett because I just think he's a spoiled rich kid.
Mm.
So, tracks. For sure. Great. I think Bennett's favorite. Oh, that's really tricky. Because my instinct is to say Aurora, but I'm like wondering how he feels about the breakup, and like, I don't know. Yeah, I'll stick with that. I'll say that his favorite was Aurora. I think maybe because he's not really fully over you.
Aww.
Probably.
Poor thing.
Yeah, like you definitely initiated the breakup, and he like went along with it and wanted to be amicable and is still
Yeah.
happy to be friends, but is like,
But
It's
if
not
only.
over, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
still not over her. And then least fave, I'm gonna say based on our game interactions, is probably Gibbs. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Just like feels like it feels like a weird like competitiveness of like, I mean, would you rather do this? Like, I thought, that kind of.
My whole body in DM.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. You wanna? I'll go. Gives struggle for control.
Here's the thing I'll say. Do you think Aurora would have put the pieces together about Gibbs's little crush, or do you think she wouldn't?
That's a great question.
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like he would have been like, he'd be probably too afraid to like look at Aurora in that way, right?
Yeah.
So it'd be one of those things where it's like, it's all up here. Like every ounce of it is in here. And I don't think he would have betrayed an ounce of it.
Okay.
Sure.
Like, unless like, I would say like the stories that he writes about Celeste would be like, those are the ones he keeps in his room. Those are not
Yeah.
the ones that he shares with his friends. So it's
Sure.
like, if you read that, you'd be like, oh, holy shit.
Then she would know.
But no
Okay.
one's ever read those stories.
Mhm.
Because that would have been the only thing that I would have been like, maybe Gibbs would be her least favorite only if she knew about the crush, because she
Right.
would feel awkward about it. Not because she dislikes him, but because she would feel awkward. But if she doesn't know, then I'll keep my answer.
Well, I mean, that's up to you too. Like, I could think that I'm cool in covering my
Slick.
tracks, and
Well,
I
you're
could
going-
absolutely not.
You
be.
failed that
It could be
deception
like
real fast.
the
Yeah.
biggest, like, open, like, secret, right? The whole group knows, but I
Yeah.
don't know that anybody knows. So I'm just like,
Aw.
I'll just keep to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That's interesting.
I know
I'm
the
happy to
group
let you
can
make
usually
that choice.
tell when someone
Yeah.
is pining real
Oh, yeah.
hard.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
well,
You
then why
could
don't
be
we change
oblivious
my
to us
answer?
while the rest of us are like, dude.
Why don't we all not hate Ronnie as a team? I'll hate Gibbs too.
I vibe with Ronnie. I think Ronnie's great.
I have no problem
no problem.
with people having me as a rival.
Well, see, but again, like, that's the thing. Like, this is so interesting because it's like you're saying your opinion of somebody out loud, but in reality, they don't, like, we're saying this behind the curtain.
Right.
But
Yeah.
these people don't
Yeah.
actually know how much you like or dislike them. Because I'm like, yeah, Ronnie's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Ronnie's like, man, this guy kind of sucks sometimes.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
but like,
Fucking tool
whatever.
over here.
Yeah.
I think I will change my answer, but it's not so much a dislike as it is just a light uncomfortability. Like, just, oh, I know that you like me and it's awkward because you don't know how to express yourself properly. So it's just weird.
So you're changing to Gibbs as your least favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because of the
got
awkwardness,
2
not
strikes
necessarily
and
for
no
any other
wins.
reason.
Poor Gibbs.
Poor Gibbs.
That's your catchprise.
Gibbs.
You just say
Oh,
poor
yeah.
Gibbs out loud.
Just that fourth wall break right there.
Yeah.
Poor
Gibbs.
Gibbs.
Poor me.
Gibbs. Oh,
We're gonna need a
my.
poor Gibbs Zoom cam at some
Yeah.
point.
You could be like,
Fucking
Show that
show your
anniversary.
enthusiasm, Gibbs shot.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Okay, great. So this is a lot of really beautiful detail. We've sort of and again, we're still building out our fantasy world of the Fallen Lands, the Fallen Lands from Pflugerville, Texas.
The fuck?
The PFA. And so we've got some
Fuckery.
great detail so far. I'd love to hear more because again, this is all stuff that's gonna appear once we're really digging deep into the game proper and we're killing stuff and we're going on mighty adventures. So if there are ways in which you want to shape the world, please keep them coming. In the meantime, we are going to enter a time skip. So we've created these personas, their youth, their defining moments, the things that they take with them, whether they want to or not, the ways in which they define themselves, the ways in which they define each other, and sort of the launch pads for how their lives progress over the next 15 years.
The McQuacks are very important.
Yes. As quoted by the book, time passes. You're now
it's
adults.
just a jump to the left.
Or so they say.
Or so they say. Or so they say. To each their own.
Ooh,
Ooh.
synesthesia for Ronnie.
Synesthesia. Okay, you can decide how you want that to
Is that where I can see music as colors?
You're like ultra sensory.
Or you can like
names have
you can
a taste.
sound, and like it's basically it's like whatever.
Yeah.
One input wrong, one input wrong.
Yeah. There's like
wrong.
a hypersensory thing that is specific to you, and I will let you noodle on that. That Vane did. Thank you. That is a great
That's
suggestion.
sick. That's so
I love
cool.
that. Perfect. So time passes. We are now adults. We're older. Let's just say that. And so now
And how?
And now we go to the corresponding second part of these big questions. Now we're going to flesh out the older versions of these personas that we will be in their bodies when we start this campaign, and we're going to define more details about them. I'm going to start. We'll go in the same creation order, so I'm going to start with Danny.
Oh shit.
No pressure.
All right.
It's okay. This is how the session 0 works. We're building all this. We've been very collaborative so far. I cannot thank you all enough. I cannot thank you all enough. I'm really glad you guys like this. We're gonna keep going. So Danny, your question was, you had an all-consuming interest or total obsession. What was it? And that, it was writing and generating your own worlds, preparing for the future generations of kids like you, and giving them the things you never had. That thing that was important to you, you've lost it. How? Oh, I'm sorry. That wasn't yours. That was Brooks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Your all-consuming interest. It's no longer in your life.
Yeah.
Why?
I tried to publish the Celeste book, and it got rejected by every publisher ever. Like I tried for years. I'm gonna say I tried for basically the entire time since high school, and then because that was gonna be my way of finally like blah, and it wasn't out in the world. So there's one copy left. There's one manuscript. I keep it locked up in my desk at home, and I have never written another word since.
Rough.
I'm like, I just cringe, like, ugh,
Yeah,
like
it
just
hurts.
gutted.
Yeah, guys, it hurts.
It's so
The thing is,
terrible.
hey, you at home? This is the part that hurts, and it's fun, and we're all having fun. And ultimately failed, and never.
I'm masochist.
And
If you like this
That's
game,
alright.
yes.
And so, like, I'm gonna say he hard 180. He dove into like life, like real life, like
Like
he,
a
he doesn't,
corporate job
he
or
doesn't read
something.
fantasy anymore. He reads nonfiction. He reads autobiographies.
Oh,
He's just all
There's nothing to
business.
escape from anymore. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, escape is futile.
Yeah.
I know that guy.
Great. We'll get more into those details. We've got more questions for that. We'll keep pushing through this. That hurts me a lot, and I love it. Okay, next was Echo. Okay, this one's interesting because I could go a couple different directions here. Yours was, you had a goal in life. What was it? Let's say, and you said to prove your parents wrong when they said that you were a loser, you wanted to pursue this career in comics and graphic novels and sort of these private interests that you never really shared with anybody. That goal in life, you didn't achieve it. Why? Or I'll posit you both, and I'll let you choose because you can have two different ones. Either you didn't achieve it, or you achieved it and it has not made you happy. And why is that? So I'll let you choose between those two, whichever you think suits Ronnie more.
What suits Ronnie more is I did achieve it. I am not happy because now I've been pigeonholed into this one comic book series and I cannot sell any of my other ideas. And the publishers just want this one series that I am just out of ideas and I'm just writing absolute garbage.
Yeah.
What is
And my
it?
soul is being sucked.
Yeah, what
That
is
wanderer
it?
energy has nowhere to go. You have no freedom outside of.
No freedom. It's gonna be called The Wandering Eye. That is what that comic is called.
Very cool. I love that. Okay. And now has. Great. Okay, Mads. Let's
I'm Mads.
move over here. That's you. You're Mads. Why you Mads though?
Just to say.
You've heard that a million times, I'm sure. Oh,
You know what? I think you originated that. I don't
Oh,
think
I thought you were
anybody's
gonna say
ever said that to
you
me
are the
before.
millionth. You win the.
I
I can't think of
Thanks for
another
the sub.
human who said that.
Hi! Yay! Cantrip Candles. If this is Christoph, hey, I love you. You're great. If it's anyone else at Cantrip Candles, hey, I love
Seconded.
you and you're great too. Thanks for being here. Mads. Let's see. Oh, your teenage years had something specifically shitty to deal with. You mentioned your relationship with your sister.
Yeah.
Your one lifeline, the person that you could confide in, and she left without saying goodbye. She took her opportunity. The thing which made your life bad then, its effects still haunt you today, and how does it impact you?
That's tricky because now I have like two pretty traumatic events that happened
With your
to me.
sister and with
Like,
Cody.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I feel like, I mean, I don't think I probably haven't had any romantic relationships since then. 'Cause,
Like,
how do you come back?
Big
from
trust
that?
issues. Just
yeah,
like
yeah,
no
and then
trust.
like abandonment issues too, right? Because like I think when I kissed Cody, he was comforting me about my sister, so I've linked those two events.
Oh,
God damn
that
it.
is rough.
Yeah. So and I've
Everything
reached
is
out to
awful.
my sister, and it's not like she didn't like cut me off hard, but she responds to me, but it's just like, hey, hope you're well. Like it's
Very
that
detached
warmth
cousin.
is gone.
Do you have a name
So-
for your sister yet? Did she have a name in your head yet?
I had one.
Okay.
Yeah. Lucy.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Confided in Cody when Lucy left, which led to.
Wow. That was kind of rough.
Yeah, it's bad. We're all having fun here. And let's see. And Brooke. Aurora had something important, this beautiful pair of shoes that Bennett was able to afford in a show of affection, something she never really had access to in her own life. And that thing that was important to you, you've lost it. How? And how does
Okay.
it affect you?
So I think I'm gonna use lost a little bit more loosely here.
Sure.
It's not that she doesn't have them, it's that she can't wear them anymore. I think she got pregnant and then married very young, and her feet swole during the pregnancy, and like they were, that was her shoe size in high school. Like people grow and she can't wear them anymore, and it's destroying her on the inside that like, she's now like at the point in her life where it's like, I didn't want to be a mom so young. I had dreams and ambitions. Maybe she wanted to model or something. And now
Sure.
she's just like, she was a really young mom. And I think the marriage isn't like bad. Like, I don't think he's a terrible person, but I don't think they like
Passionate.
are
Love
very
each other.
happy with
Or-
each other,
Yeah.
like, or with their situation.
Yeah.
I do think she loves her child very much, but
Sure.
there is like there's a weird emotion there because of like what was taken from her. So
If you, as you're still thinking about this, if you have end up having names for that husband and that child,
Yeah.
let me know. You can keep noodling on it. Okay. And then, all right, and then we're gonna talk about these people's lives now. So again, we can. I'll just go back in that same order. We'll go back to Danny. So I'll kind of throw a lot of these at you, and then we'll expound as we go.
Okay.
So tell me about your life now. What do you do now? Married, dating, or single? Divorced? Kids? What's your biggest responsibility in your life currently? How does that affect your life? Does it make it better or worse? Let's start there.
Okay. Gosh, he would have the day jobbiest of day jobs. I think he would have retreated into something like IT.
Sure.
So not a lot of human interaction because he never got good at it. Like he was hoping that book was going to open his world. And when he made the choice to not, it just became, okay, I'm going to build this empty nest by myself, for myself. And so like, I want to say he's got like a room somewhere where he doesn't even go in there, but like whatever little bits of fantasy that are left in his life, he's got them stowed away just in case.
Yeah, you've got like some little like piece of Celeste or something that you keep at your desk.
Right. Yeah. Like maybe the old character sheets and like stuff like that.
Sure.
The
or
things
some
that
dice
meant
or
a
whatever.
lot,
Yeah.
but like nothing new. Only from then.
Mhm.
What was sorry?
Married, dating, or single? Divorced? Kids?
Single. Super single.
Single.
No. Yeah. He wouldn't have gone out.
Oh, Master Allen, Cody's mini. Like we all had minis for our characters, so someone.
It would be the group. Yeah. So glass case, the group, the living group. Cody's on a higher clear shelf.
Mm.
No. Ouch. Okay. Still has the group's minis. Do you think his job is his biggest responsibility in life? Is there anything else that, or is
the job is a means to an end? Like he has no passion about his work.
Then what's his biggest responsibility? Does he have pets? Does he have anything that he takes care of? Is there something?
He would have a pet.
Okay.
And it would be a reptile.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say he's got a chameleon named Cody 2.
Cody
Aw.
Yeah.
Oh man. That he and like given the name probably really like cherishes him.
Yes.
Like is the only like emotional support sort of.
Cody 2 the 5th.
Cody 2 the 5th. Oh no. Oh no. How many Cody 2s can there be? Okay. Gotcha.
That was so
and so
remember.
and it says, how does that affect your life, better or worse? Feels like a little bit of both, because the
better because he's got a companion.
Yeah.
Worse because his companion's a fucking lizard. Not that I love lizards, but they're not people.
Lizards are better than people.
Sven, don't you
I think that's true.
Yeah, I think he continues to shrink and close his world. The man is nothing but walls at this point. The job is just to pay the rent. I will say he's probably got a nice place. So I think most of his responsibility is making the money so that he's at least physically comfortable. He worries for nothing.
Cool. Yep,
Yeah.
that tracks.
Mhm.
Okay. Great. All right. When the invite to the reunion arrived, what made you not want to come, and why did you come anyways? And
Boy.
again, everyone's answering these, so you can keep noodling.
He didn't want to come for 1,000 reasons. But
If there are any that prevail.
yeah, okay, sure. I think he didn't want to come back and everyone know, because he talked. I'm working on my book. I'm going to publishers. I'm going to publishers. And
Right.
it's like everyone in high school, because he hasn't talked to these people. They know him as the writer.
Yeah.
And he's gonna come back, and they're gonna know he's not a fucking writer.
Have to like admit that failure really.
Yeah,
openly.
he doesn't want to be found out. He doesn't want people to know what he does. So like, because he's already bad at it, trying to save face while he's there. Like he's terrified of that.
Yeah. And then why did you come anyway?
In an attempt to finally free himself, he's gonna hand over the manuscript to Aurora.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Oh, spaghetti-o.
She is holding a baby.
You've been noodling.
The final copy of the Celeste manuscript to Aurora, just like full absolvments.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And then and this also, the conceit, I think the conceit of this implies that we're getting together for a high school reunion.
Mhm.
I feel like, what if it's like a 10-year memorial for Cody
Oh,
or something like
my
that? Like
God.
it's a thing that we're like blocking out a weekend for. Like we're planning, like his family like had our contacts in some way, shape, or form, and was doing sort of like a memorial or something, like meeting, or like a memorial, like a Master Allen on his birthday, like some remembrance ceremony in honor of a decade passing. And so would have been able to reach out to everybody to include them. And I think Bennett receiving that opportunity would have probably said, well, hey, if we're all going to get back together once more for old time's sake, Cody would have wanted us to.
Oh sure,
Something like that.
that'd have packed up the
So
minis.
what did you think when Bennett invited you to play one more time? What was your what thoughts ran through his head?
Almost repulsion, because at this point he's so separated himself from pretend and fantasy and escape. Like the idea of just like that's kid stuff. Like we're past that now. Like what the fuck are you thinking? So, but like for the sake of Cody, he would go. He will absolutely go. He'll sit at the table. He doesn't intend to play.
Great. Okay. Beautiful and heartbreaking. Hey everyone, don't forget, we're having fun.
Yeah.
I have to
so much
keep
fun.
everyone's having fun, I promise. And again, we're still building the world of the Fallen Lands and would love your input. So it's because again, we were for anyone new that has joined us that is still around that maybe didn't catch the first part, we are a group of people that were rejected from a comedy sports team and found friendship and found friendship in each other.
We started so fucking silly.
Yeah, we really did.
Well, but again,
Well,
but that was the conceit, was that we were like, well, we'll show them, we'll tell our own stories, and then with the immediate inclusion from someone viewing saying that comedy is punishable by death in this world, we said, you know what? Let's do a full 180. We're gonna go really serious, but there also was something comedic in how seriously it was taken. Like everything was really, really like grim, dark, and scary, and there was there was still fun in that. So that's kind of the world that we're playing in. So right now we have lakes of peanut butter and comedy that is punishable by death, and I would love more elements like that we can incorporate that make this world
peanut butter and death.
Well, that is the theme so far of this campaign. So keep your EpiPen close at hand, folks.
Mouth condoms, everyone. Mouth condoms.
Mouth condoms.
Called a dental dam.
Yeah, I was about to say.
That's
The
right.
word escaped me. I know.
Mouth condoms is what we refer to them now. Okay, let's move to Echo.
Yes.
Okay, Ronnie. What does Ronnie do now? Married, dating, or single? Divorced? Kids? What's the vibe?
All right. So where I am right now is I was married, but my husband has left me. The reason he has left me is because the house that we share together was just so overfilled with all of these projects that I was trying to get off the floor, but nobody would publish. And it's just papers and depression. That is what's around the house. And he couldn't take it anymore.
Okay. What's the biggest responsibility in Ronnie's life now?
The biggest responsibility in Ronnie's life is Ronnie's schedule, because I'm now on the comic convention circuit. So my biggest responsibility is just to get to all these locations, do meet and greets. Everybody just wants to talk about the Wandering Eye.
Yeah.
Nobody ever wants to say, hey, what's new? What's coming out? What else are you doing? It's all the Wandering Eye.
Yeah.
Because of this, it's very isolating and just lonely.
Yeah.
And when I come home from all of these trips, I walk into an empty house and just my two lovely dogs' ashes by the door that I just pet as I walk in. I'm just very lonely.
The ashes of two dead dogs. Okay. Fun.
Great.
This is great. Everyone's really leaning in. This is exactly what we want. And that means when we start rolling dice next week and doing cool shit, it's going to all be worth it.
Yes, they're in urns. They're in these nice little wooden boxes.
Yeah.
You're right, Kira. This is so fucking sad. As it should be. Danny, if you're getting a drink, can you get me one? Love you,
You
thanks.
mother fucker.
I'm okay, thank you.
I'm all right.
And so so you kind of also answered, how does that you kind of answered, pay no mind to the man in front of the camera. You kind of sort of answered how that affects your life, that the returning to the empty house, it's a very heavy sort of weighted feeling. When the invite to this reunion arrived, what made you not want to come, and why did you come anyways?
The reason I didn't want to come to the reunion is because this comic, The Wandering Eye, is based on our group and our life stories. And I wrote it as a way to sort of like cope with what was going on and to basically just like get the creative juices flowing, because you pull from life. You just see what's gonna go.
That's probably why that was the thing that succeeded. It was the most evocative.
It was out there. And so at this point, I'm afraid to go back because I don't know who in the group might have seen this comic and might see themselves in it, because I did not ask permission for their life story in this in this segment.
So then why did you decide to come anyways?
I decided to come just because this group of people was the last time I felt that I truly belonged and wasn't just like an object for entertainment.
Okay. So it's sort of the hearkening back to the freedom you used to have that you don't really have anymore.
Correct.
Okay. What did you think when Bennett invited you to play the game at this during this Memorial Weekend? What were your thoughts?
I'm gonna say Ronnie had a tingling he's not proud of, that this might be a good chance to get more material to continue his story, but he feels bad about it.
Okay, nice. We love an ashamed tingling. Okay, moving on.
Sorry. I'll see myself out.
I didn't even hear it. Mads, we're gonna move over to Mal.
All right.
What does Mal do now? Married, dating, single, divorced, kids?
Definitely no romantic partner. I feel like, I mean, he's like tried dating, but now he has like a deep fear of intimacy.
Yeah, sure.
So that doesn't quite work out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of important.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Now he never went pro, but he did he teaches elementary school PE.
Ooh.
Yeah. So he like coaches like the little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a nice level of detachment there. Like, they're young enough that it's like, yeah, I'll support them. Like, it's that golden retriever energy of like being the really nice coach and supporting them.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's enough removal of like, I'm not really having a huge effect over these kids' lives.
Yeah.
So like, I don't have to worry so much about like them coming to me to talk about like really serious things. Like, if I'm the teacher they trust and they're like, hey, I need someone to come out to. It's not like, that's really, that's a lot.
Yeah. But
Nice.
they're 8, so it's
So they're chilling. They're worried about their juice boxes.
Yeah.
Would you say that teaching job is his biggest responsibility in life now, or is there something else that would take that spot?
No, it's that. He doesn't really have a lot going on other than that. I mean, his fantasy baseball league is cutthroat. Other than that,
Okay.
yeah.
I love that. Cutthroat fantasy baseball.
Does it have a name, your league?
That's a great question.
And is it a beer league?
What? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean,
But he's
you
just
drink
there
beer?
to fucking get drunk.
Oh,
I thought it was all digital. I don't know how
I
these
also
things
thought
work.
it was all
I don't know
digital.
You
about
can have
sports.
people get together for fantasy like in an actual group.
I don't know.
I guess
I
he
don't
like
know.
tries to do that, but like it's
Yeah.
like all elementary school teachers, so most of them are like super old ladies.
I've only played fantasy The Bachelor, so don't ask me.
Oh my!
And that's only
God.
once. And only once. That's a mistake. I'll only make one time. Okay, so yeah, we'll chalk that up. That's kind of his biggest responsibility.
Yeah.
The kids and like, having not gone pro, like still getting to indulge in some of that feeling a little bit.
I think he played in college a little bit and like
Sure.
did well, but like
How do you think, with his teaching job with these kids, how do you think, since that's a big responsibility for him and there's not a ton else with him, just totally fine.
Okay.
How do you think that responsibility for having issues with intimacy, but also being a caretaker for kids. How do you think that affects him? Like, has it made him better? Has it helped him move through some of that stuff, or is it making him? Is it not a great situation?
Like, does it help him like, as far as like his making connections? To people
Yeah, well, because
situation?
the question in here is how does what is your biggest responsibility in your life, and how does that affect your life? Does it make it better or worse?
Okay. Well, I just feel like the kiddos, it's like easier. It's like I don't wanna. Children are people with very serious thoughts and feelings.
Oh yeah.
And I feel that very seriously from working in a theme park and
Oh, yes.
seeing parents talk
No
down to
matter
their
how
kids.
sticky
Oh
they might
yeah,
be.
for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, I did use that word specifically. Yeah. But I do feel like he thinks of the kid, like talking to kids is like way lower stakes than talking to an adult.
Yeah.
So like, because they're just like, no, they're just little guys. They're chill.
Yeah.
So like, I think he probably enjoys like just being around people and like.
Yeah.
It's still kind of like that golden retriever
Yeah.
boy energy of like.
Sort of help you be a little bit more engaging.
Yeah,
when
and like little kids are funny.
Yeah,
like they say
that's
funny
true.
shit.
They say the
and
darndest
like,
things.
He enjoys it.
that's
yeah.
very true.
So I think it
Cool.
helps.
Awesome.
Yeah, it makes them less lonely.
Whoa,
Yeah.
lollygaggers!
Ooh.
Thank you for the raid.
Hey, hi everybody.
Thanks, Rance.
We are in session 0 for this really awesome TTRPG called Die. We're building some really complex and interesting people with some really interesting relationships. There's some sad shit going on. Come and join us.
pretty
It's been
sad.
fucking awesome. And
I'm
there are
so
some donation
emotionally
goals there at
invested.
the bottom of the screen. You can donate $15 to develop the fantasy world that we're going to delve into next week, adding some awesome details.
They're playing Die on Thursday.
No way. Okay, we
Ooh,
got.
shit.
Let's talk offline because that's awesome. I want to hear all about it.
Come over.
Yes, Master Allen, I couldn't have said it better myself. Come for the fun, stay for the trauma. We're in this together. You already know how it goes. Okay, awesome. Then
I
you know how
killed
this
a man.
works. We're still in session 0. We're making some people. I'm thinking we're gonna assign
Tongue.
some of these character classes at the end as a fun little cliffhanger, and then we're gonna get really into the narrative next week. But stick around. Thanks for joining us, and hello to all the viewers. So when the invite to the reunion arrived for Mal, what made him not want to come, and why did he come anyways? What do you think that's all about?
What made him not want to?
Yeah, the
Well, I
prospect
mean, he
of
blames himself, like, because
Yeah.
I mean, it's his fault. So he's not doing great with that. He doesn't want to face these guys. He definitely doesn't want to talk to Cody's parents.
Yeah.
Like that's rough. But he came anyways because he knows Gibbs has Cody's menu. That's it.
nice,
Mm.
nice.
Shit.
Getting that back.
Mm.
Why do you have it? Because we like
Can,
left it with
can
all
we
your
say that
stuff.
Gibbs and Cody were actually really good friends?
Yeah,
Maybe
of
like
course.
maybe Cody was like his only real like
Yeah.
friend.
Well, and especially like the Wallflower class clown kind of duo of
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
like here you are a ready and willing target for any
Ooh, I
amount of
love that though,
shenanigans.
as a rift for us, being like, no, like he was my friend. Like,
Yeah.
you just kissed him once.
Wow.
Yeah.
And only
Yeah.
once.
Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if it would have been more of that,
Everything
then
is terrible.
it would have happened then.
Yeah. Yeah. We're having fun. I can't stress it enough. I really can't.
This is
You guys, I mean, you
fun.
guys know the vibe. You guys are doing great.
I was so connected.
And then what did you think? So, and then what did Mal think when Bennett invited him to not only to play a game during this memorial? The memorial was hard enough to address for Mal, but when it came to the game itself, how do you think Mal felt when that invitation was sent about playing again with this group?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the same thing. I feel
Yeah.
like he feels kind of out of place. Like, I'm sure I suspect that you guys are mad at me,
Mm.
and you
Oh.
have every right to be.
Like that are still mad at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, also because like everybody had to know that he had an allergy, and I was like, just like I didn't think much of
Caught
it.
up with the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah, I was
right?
like, oh, I'm
Sure.
I'm sure I was careful. Like I always wash my hands, and
Yeah.
stuff, but like, I
you
didn't
said, it was a
I
vulnerable
didn't think
moment.
I was gonna kiss him, and
No.
then I did, and then he.
What if he
Died.
kissed
He kissed you.
He kissed you.
Oh,
He kissed you.
That's what I'm saying. He kissed you.
Fuck. No.
Well, because you said it was a vulnerable moment. You were talking about
Yeah,
Lucy, and you were
yeah.
confiding in him, which you probably never
Oh
confided
my
in anybody.
God.
And he probably initiated that shit
Yeah, he
and
kissed
didn't know.
me.
Oh no,
And
no,
then
no, no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah, that's what I was
no, no.
Yeah, but you guys wouldn't know. You guys weren't there. I mean, like we probably went
We
off
just know
into
you
like a
kissed.
corner. Or
It wasn't like
something,
during. Yeah, I don't think it was during a game, but it.
No, like we were like chilling out
Afterwards.
afterwards. Like
I would
talking
just
snacks.
imagine at that point, like we're all hanging out in like a living room, and then you're like coming back from his bedroom or some
Yeah.
shit
Yeah.
like that,
Where
panicking.
he was like I'm like, I was like tearing up or whatever, and he's like, hey, come back to my room, I want to show you something. We ended up chatting, and then all of a sudden I came out and I was like, he's not breathing, like,
We're like
Call
Mario
somebody.
Karting or some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
fuck.
Yeah, just post, just like, because we were playing a dark game. It was like, all right, that was fun and weird. Let's, get more snacks. Someone had
Oh,
a,
man.
Nintendo something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Here we are. Okay, great.
Oh.
Yes, that
All of
all
the
totally
feelings are
tracks.
happening to me.
Oh, you're all crying by the end of this, and by you're all I mean me too. Okay, Aurora.
Hello.
You've already mentioned married and had kids pretty young.
We. So I feel like okay, so I'm naming my husband. His name is Rob Cooper.
Rob with a B.
Rob.
Rob Cooper.
And I actually would like y'all's input because I can see it either way.
Ooh, okay.
I know my child's name is Charlie, which is a gender neutral name.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a girl, I can see her having this envy over like, I want you to have the life I never had, but also I kind of want to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Or if it's a boy, I can have this weird feeling of like, you're kind of Rob's son. I love you, but I don't know you. Like
First one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
think
I'm
girl.
so leaning for the
Okay.
first
Girl.
one. Yeah.
Cool,
That's
cool, cool.
so real.
I thought
Yeah,
so.
because the shoes are gonna be hers now.
Yeah,
Yep.
they are.
Oh,
Like,
my
exactly.
God. Yeah.
Exactly.
Charlie, no.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That's great. Would you say, because you mentioned the marriage with Rob is okay. It's not like it's a
fine.
bad partnership, but it's not like, it's not
fulfilling.
fulfilling. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
I think it's like neglect is a strong word, but I feel like we just don't.
Indifference.
Yeah. Like, and maybe there is this part of her that wants to rekindle whatever it was, but it's been so long
Yeah.
and we just don't do anything.
Right.
Like, we're just like, we're
Yeah.
married, but not really.
Sure. Now what? And then that question never gets answered.
Yeah.
So would you say, but you also mentioned that this, and especially now that we've determined more details about Charlie, is Charlie Aurora's biggest responsibility now, or is there something else?
Yes, I think so. I think that thing about I want her to have everything I didn't is true, as well as being balanced out by what we've mentioned before with the envy.
Yeah.
But yes, I think she does take her responsibility as a mother very seriously. Maybe in the beginning there was this resistance to it of like, I didn't want to be this person. But now it's like, this is it. You're who I have.
Yeah.
I'm going to make something of this. God damn it. If
Yeah.
it kills me,
Yeah.
I'm going to be better
I'm gonna
than my mother was,
I'm gonna
than her
succeed at
mother
something.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. We talk. How does that affect your life? Makes sense. When the invite to the reunion arrived, what made you not want to come, and why did you come anyways?
I think despite her determination as a mother, she had a reputation in high school and she's not exactly proud to be like a stay-at-home mom who doesn't do anything. And I think too, like, maybe she had been very like, we had briefly mentioned the like modeling or acting thing earlier. She was like, I'm going to be a star. This is going to be great. And everyone had these expectations and maybe even assumed, but she was just small town and never left. And now she's like, oh, I'm not who I wanted to be. And so, yeah, I think she's anxious to also like see the other mean girls again. And maybe they're all doing, they're not barefoot and pregnant.
Right.
All Zumba instructors.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, she's a cute mom, but she's still a mom, and she, she doesn't. She's not looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What did you think when Bennett invited you to play a game during this memorial?
I think she did miss her character, whoever that ends up being, and
Yeah.
she missed having again like that. Like, this is how I'm perceived. I have control over this. Like, she missed that element of the game, and I think there's a little bit of her that's like, oh, I'm gonna see Bennett again. Oh, geez, I'm gonna see Bennett again. Like, the way that I am.
Oh, yeah.
Shit.
Absolutely.
Like, that's floating in there.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yes. This is all very interesting. Okay. So this is a lot of really beautiful stuff. We've had some great input from you guys as well. So typically, the way that this would happen, we're breaking this up a little bit differently just to make these sessions feel nice and concrete. Normally what would happen is us as people would take a break from the table for a little bit, restock on drinks, go to the bathroom, whatever. And during that break, the GM takes all of this information that we've built together, this backstory, these narratives, these stories, these people, and assign each persona a character class. So here's sort of the flip side to the die system, obviously a pretty grim name, but is in direct reference to a die. The dice that we use when we play a TTRPG. And so this game, again, is a love letter to TTRPGs in that the mechanical classes that can be played in this game, you know, the powers that we receive and are used to when we were playing Mighty Heroes and these sorts of systems, are all based off of the different dice in a set of RPG dice. So there is a class based around the D4, the D6, the D8, the D10, and the D12. The D20 is reserved for me. It doesn't always have to go that way. It's easier to do it that way. So there are 5. Oh, thanks, Danny. I appreciate you. So there are 5 character classes left that typically, again, we would be taking a break. I'd be going through all my little notes and deciding who would get what class based on all this information. We'd then sit back down at the table and we'd sort of jump right into the role play. We would meet these people. We would start at the reunion, everybody getting their invitations, showing up at a common place and starting this game and seeing what happens. I would love to dive into that full bore next session. I think that would be a really great place for us to just start at a really lovely narrative place. We've already got a plan for that. In the meantime, though, just to give you guys some juicy stuff and actually dig into some mechanics, I think I want to assign those character classes now.
Let's go.
I think it'd be fun to talk about that. They've had the character sheets
For
on the
sure.
table this whole time, and we've talked about them a little bit. I'll give you guys a brief overview of how these all work, and then I think we can figure out how they're assigned. So, and I'll make this quick. First, our D4 class is called the Dictator. The Dictator is the emotional puppet master. They are the ones that can bring about any sort of emotional response in anybody in a often dangerous way. You know, we as human beings feel emotions in certain spectrums. Dictators can do that to the nth degree. The quote from the rulebook is that they're like bards. If everyone was really fucking terrified of bards, which frankly they should be, they use a power called the voice. It's with a capital V, and it's the thing that allows them to dictate the emotional narrative, often to a dangerous degree. People in the world of Die, the townsfolk, if you will, the other NPCs, really don't like dictators. They're like Salem witches. If a dictator uses their power openly, they will be hunted down, no questions asked. So it's a very delicate balance. It's a great amount of power at a great cost. So that's the Dictator. Next is the D6. And this system, the core mechanic of this system is that we're rolling pools of six-sided dice for the checks that we do during this. So D6s are pretty common. The D6 character class for this game is called the Fool. They are the epitome of fuck around and find out. They are rewarded for behaving in a daring, cavalier, or risky fashion, experiencing flukes of good luck, of bad luck, and turning the tides in their favor. If a fool is laughing, everybody is laughing with them, except the person with a rapier in their stomach. They were too busy laughing to notice. So fools are foolhardy. They rush in, and usually to everybody else's detriment. So they're they've got a very interesting balance. The D8 belongs to a class called the Emotion Knight. This system relies really heavily on an 8-spoked emotion wheel. There's more research about it in the rulebook itself, but essentially it's based off of a concept where all of the emotions, the spectrum of emotions that we feel as human beings, can be pared down to 8 in their purest forms, and in any combination, these are the 8 emotions that we cycle through on a pretty daily basis. Let me see if I can pull that up for you. They list these as rage, vigilance, ecstasy, admiration, terror, amazement, grief, and loathing. So that's sort of our 8-spoked emotion wheel. The emotion knight gains their power when they are feeling one of those emotions especially strongly. The more they feel it, it's so much so that it is referred to as their sacred emotion. A rage knight finds their power in anger. An ecstasy knight finds their power in joy, etc. And when they are feeling this sacred emotion strongly enough, there is not a single force that can stop them, except perhaps the emotion that dominates them. It can overwhelm them if felt too strongly. So there's a very delicate balance there. It's your classic kind of sword and board, your barbarians and your paladins, things of that nature.
Full spectrum lanterns.
There you
DC
go.
nerds. No, no, shut up.
And the next is the D10. The D10 belongs to a class called the Neo. So I believe this is done in part. The D10 is a reference to the Cyberpunk TTRPG system, which is a D10 system. And the Neo stands for all things new. It is the cyberpunk sort of rogue in this world of typical fantasy genres. The Neo are very interesting. They rely on the powers of these strange technological gifts left over from an alien civilization and run on the power of a monetary resource called fair gold. It's rare, it's hard to find, and they need it. They don't want it, they need it. So how willing are they to steal from others or do nefarious things to ensure they have the power they require? Who's to say? That's up to them. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff that goes on with them and their willingness to survive at any cost. The final class that we've got is for the D12, and it's referred to as the Godbinder. Now, this isn't your typical cleric. It's not even really your typical warlock. This is a character that is a wheeler and dealer. They will sort of bow to a god in favor of power. They're doing them. It's a mutual favor. It's a mutual exchange. And there's 12 gods in this world, and they can reach out to any one of them if that's the power that they need. But gods are as petty as people, and will let you know if they're jealous or if they want more of your attention. Godbinders have a mechanic called God Debt. Too much of it can be deadly. So there's all of these come with a balance and come with a cost. And the D20 is reserved for me. It just essentially says, I'm the GM. I'll make a thing. That's it. That's all you need to know. So that's kind of how all this works. There's more that will be revealed once we're in the thick of it and we're rolling dice. In the meantime, I think I want to throw some of these out to my players and see how we are feeling. First, let's see. What are we thinking? This honestly, these characters are so interesting that it's kind of hard to really pin them down. I think I've been thinking about Mads a lot because I think there's a few different ways that we can go. And it's not just because when you looked at this character sheet earlier that you took a liking to it. I'm thinking the Emotion Knight for Mads, and I'm thinking specifically if we're Golden Retriever, an Admiration Knight.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So
Yeah.
that seems to make sense. So I think that will work well for you. We'll go over, offline, we're going to go over the mechanics of all this so that we can really hit the ground running next week. There's some really cool stuff that's going to happen there. You have venting abilities to vent your emotional scale in ways in which it can grow.
I mean,
So there's lots of cool
stuff.
stuff there. I think, and it was interesting because I was thinking of giving you the Fool.
Mhm.
I think that would have been Cody.
Oh.
I think it would have been Cody.
Yeah.
Ouch, my heart.
And so I think I'm gonna refrain from that one for now. So we'll move on. So that was the D8. So we've got the D8 represented by Mads and their character Mal. The Godbinder, just because I think I'm gonna throw the Godbinder to Ronnie, to Echo, because there's something about you being controlled by something called the Wandering Eye that feels very like this is a thing that has dominion over you, but also that, like you said, your inspiration for joining the game anyway was potentially for more and more and more. So I think that there's some interesting stuff in there. We'll go over this world has a pantheon of 12 gods that have generic titles, but we'll flesh those out more. I think that's going to be really interesting for you. So we'll talk about that. So we've got the D12 for Ronnie and for Echo. We've got Gibbs and Aurora. You two are so interesting. I think, this is how I'm gonna do this. Given the way that you talked about Aurora's daughter and the energy she puts forth into this responsibility of hers, to me, I think Aurora is the dictator.
I feel you.
Which I think that sort of emotional control, wanting so desperately to put what she did not have into something else and to be able to inspire that.
Thank you for the raid, Dorktails!
Thank you. Oh my gosh, Dorktails, thank you. We're throwing out some fun classes and stuff right now. Thank you for sticking around. We love you very much. So something about the dictator. So we'll talk about, you'll deal really heavily with the emotion wheel and what all that means. So the two of us will have a conversation about that, but that'll be really interesting, I think. That's gonna leave Gibbs as the Neo, I think. There's something interesting about someone who lived in such, not just fantasy, but fantasy as dictated by himself in the creation of his own worlds, and the Neo being something entirely new, limitless possibilities. You can charge your gifts, you can overcharge them and make them do wild, sort of like unimaginable things that there's maybe a reawakening, a reinstitution of a sense of self in the Neo that either might be really repulsive to Gibbs as he stands now, or might be sort of a lifeline. So I'm interested to see kind of how that plays out. And again, you'll get access to certain gifts. We'll go over the mechanical details of that. But that, I think, is how it's going to stand for now. We've got Aurora, the dictator. We've got Mads, the admiration knight. We've got Gibbous, the Neo, and Ronnie, the godbinder, and Bennett, the master. I think that's about all we've got planned for tonight. We're going to do some stuff online, but I'm going to throw this to Danny to sort of close us out.
Absolutely. I actually did not ask any of you to do this, but generally for our shows, because it's been a while since we've had a new one, we'll do a quick little sort of like 10-minute thing for our patrons. A talkback show. We're going to do a quick little talkback show. So if any of you have questions for us, we've created a thread for this show. It's just #die in our Discord, discord.rollforhotness.com. If you have any questions for us, the players, for Nick, the GM, or anything in between regarding this show, put those questions in the chat. We'll answer them for our patrons, because if anything you saw tonight was worth at least $1, please consider joining our Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help. Oh God! Wow. You can help support. It worked. You can help support the studio, keep the lights on, help us pay rent, and help us continue to bring great shows like this to all of you. If you are at the particular tier in which you can see our talkback shows, then you will see them. It's great, and you can end up on the credits like this.
Yes.
But yeah, we would love to see your questions because we'd love to answer them. And once we're good.
Yeah, and like Danny said, there's so much nuance and meta to this system and the worlds that we create using this system. The bending of reality and fantasy, I think, is something that any creative person can understand, and to be able to tell this kind of story is really, really thrilling. This system has been living in my head for years since I first kickstarted it, and to have it in front of me and to have such wonderful players at a table and to be able to share it with all of you is such a gift. So again, next week we are going to dive headfirst into these characters, put them all at a table, give them some motherfucking dice, and see what happens. I really hope you join us next week for Tuesday.
Absolutely. And as always, we are going to pay this forward with a raid.
Yes.
Thank you all for all the love. Who are we going to raid? Madame Gandalf.
None shall pass.
Our Kiwi friend, give her all the love. Tell her hello, and tell her
please.
to say hi to us at TwitchCon if she's coming to TwitchCon this year. Otherwise, we'll see her at Gen Con, and if she's not there, then she's a jerk. And that's fine.
That's just great.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.